to you, your beautiful listeners, and the whole of Ghana. This is an incredible opportunity to be here to share. So I'm excited. I'm really, really excited about the
Wonderful,
possibility.
wonderful. How many of you in the comment section know Mr. Kofi Korante? If you know Mr. Kofi Korante, put it in the comment section, all right? If you're a fan of me, I know your fans will be here. I know very well. I know your people are going to be here, exactly. So I want to see them in the comment section. Lovely. All right. I want to see them in the comment section. If you know if you are somebody that you follow Kofi Korante, you have been listening to him, his interview, hey, Mr. Who, respect. His interview and all that, I mean, respect. Put it in the comment section. You understand? Let me see your vibe in the comment section. Mr. Kofi Korante, it's a wonderful Tuesday. How was your day?
Peaceful. It's been peaceful. Let me tell you. Today, I went to the bank. I went to UMB Bank. I'm putting them on the spot, but I got to say this. I went with one of my aides, and I always talk about the fact that Ghana, we need to elevate our competency level. So we went to MTN, and when you go around like businesses in Ghana, the sense that I get is most people are not trained properly. So depending on who you meet, the story is different. When you meet 10 people, chances are you're going to get 10 different stories. And today was a typical day. We went to MTN. Nothing was working. We were there for over 2 hours for a simple thing to be done. They will send you to here. You got to start the process. Oh, it was incredible. And then we went to UMB Bank, and it was the same thing, just to collect monies. They did not know what to do. They would call this person, they would have. So, one of the big problems we have as a country is elevating our competency level. I talk about this a lot. See, not unless we know exactly what to do, we are laser beam, not only focused, but conclusive, decisive, know for a fact that which needs to be done. Every time you walk into a bank, or you walk into a place where you require speciality on something, there's confusion in Ghana, because when I go to any other country in the world, when I'm looking for, I want to change this money, they will tell you the exact process, and I get my money. No time is wasted. When you go to a bank or you go to any business in Ghana, the experience is different. You see, so that tells us one thing. There is a problem with competency. Competency means we don't train our people well, and we don't have models. I talk about that a lot. We don't have what we call success models. We don't in business. What you need is to have what we call success models. Success models is a model that tells you how to perform, do a specific task, exactly how to do it and get the result. In Ghana, it's like the whole system is operated based on personality. So depending on who you meet, they're gonna give you a different answer. And depending on who you meet, you might get a good experience or bad experience. There is no model for doing stuff. Everywhere you go, there are very few, and this is two foreign entities. MTN is a foreign entity. They haven't trained the Ghanaian staff. UMB, they haven't trained the Ghanaian staff. Their levels of service are substandard. I could tell you, and I don't care if MTN is listening to me, UMB is listening to me, their levels are way below standard. So if I spend an hour just to change money at a bank, an hour, if I spend over 2 hours to get my merchant account activated at MTN, who has the time to go through that nonsense? That's why the country is broke, because any serious person would not come to Ghana and waste this amount of time just to do something that it takes 5 minutes to do any other country. You see, so competency, it's a big deal. So welcome to the club, man.
Beautiful,
Welcome to the club.
beautiful. Mr. Kofi Grante, thank you. And sorry for that wonderful words experience that you had today.
Not
You
your
know, it's
fault.
Ghana.
Not your fault. Not your fault, but it needs to be
Yeah,
told.
of course.
It needs to
You know,
be
this
told.
is it. These are the things that we are interested in, and then we want. These are the things that we need, and we want them to be changed. You understand? We want a system and the system to work. All right. Is wonderful. All right. No, I pick Anonymous so that I mean his guests, his people will be on board. You understand? So Anonymous
No problem.
is solidly for Mr. Kofi Konte, but just to increase our views and then give space to others to also come on board.
Call me Kofi, please. Call me Kofi. No, for everybody else who's listening, thank you for joining us. No honorable, no Mister, no Kofi.
All right.
Good.
All right.
Yeah.
Some how do you call it? Some people have started asking questions, but let's take it this way. There are some people who don't know about Mr. Kofi Koranteng. And then we need to allow Mr. Kofi Koranteng to introduce himself to all of us. So that I mean those who know him, maybe you don't know him well, those who don't know him at all, they can be able to come to the knowledge of the person that we have on board. All right, Mr. Kofi. Please, the platform is yours. Kindly introduce yourself to us.
A great thanks again. And Survivor, if you will allow me, what I do is I introduce myself, tell you a little bit about my background, and then tell you about why I am here and I'm doing this. And
Beautiful.
I think that answers a lot of questions for a lot of people so that we don't have 20 million people wanting to ask me some questions that I could put together in a story for everybody. Okay.
All right.
So
that's great.
Good evening, beautiful people of TikTok on Survivor and Anonymous's platforms. My name is Kofi Koranteng. I was born in Ghana, Kolebu Teaching Hospital. I went to Agri Memorial International School. And then I went to Cape Coast University Primary. Then I went to Garrison Primary in Kumasi, sat common entrance, went to Adisado College. So I'm a full-bred Santa. Went to London, and then for the most part lived my life in the U.S. in New York. My background is in finance and engineering. I've done some pro bono work, advocating for Ghanaians. I love Ghana. To be honest with you, maybe about 25 years ago, I decided I wasn't coming back to Ghana because I just did not understand and appreciate how Ghana worked. And then I started coming and the tables turned because I started feeling bad and started thinking about how simple our problems were to solve and why everybody was ignoring, the leaders were ignoring the problems. So I wrote an article, a prescriptive article for how we could collect taxes. And the government took bits and pieces of it, but we still have a problem of tax collection, Survivor, because only about 30% pay taxes. 30% of people who work pay taxes in Ghana. And then I brought in a team of people to assess our toll systems. We didn't have any, but I wanted us to toll the whole of Ghana roads, highways, so that we could raise money and build road infrastructure. They made a recommendation to the government. The government did not heed to their recommendation. I think in 2014, I came in to do a oil and gas expo at the cusp of when Ghana was having the oil and gas explosion. Because I figured if we will bring all the oil and gas producers in the world to Ghana, Ghana would be in a position to negotiate better deals, so we wouldn't have to sign ridiculous contracts like we have now. That project did not happen because Mr. Mahama did not honor the approvals which had come in from the Atta Mills's era. Atta Mills died. So I think in 2017, I came to Ghana for the Diaspora Conference. When I came to Ghana, I went into a conference where Ahum Kalinsi was speaking. He was the deputy trade minister. And in the conference at the Accra Conference Center, I had a face-to-face with the deputy minister. He was saying something like, people who live abroad are whiners, and anytime we come to Ghana, we want things to be done quickly and stuff. So it was very confrontational. So that's when a lot of people picked me up and say, hey, listen, maybe you need to run for office because you really understand this thing. Prior to that, I had been in sessions with GIPC, Ghana Investment Promotion Center, and I had given them my perspective on how they should do things to raise money. So people had seen me from there. When I came to the conference center and I had a one-on-one face-off with Kalinsi Sierra, everybody said, no, you need to run for office. So when I came back to the US, I was thinking about how to put together a base, because I didn't have a base. I hadn't lived in Ghana in my adult years, so nobody really knew me like that. So I figured that if I am going to be successful at winning any election, then I had to build a base. So I decided that, hey, listen, if Ghanaians abroad who knew a little about me could not vote, then I stood no chance. So I started researching representation of the People's Amendment Act, which allowed for Ghanaians living abroad to be able to vote in Ghana because it's their legal right. So we took the Electoral Commission, long story short, and the Attorney General to court after a long battle, and we won the battle against the Electoral Commission and the Attorney General. And the court told the Attorney General and the Electoral Commission to implement the law so that every Ghanaian outside of Ghana who wishes to vote can vote. To this day, Survivor, they have not implemented that law. That law has been assented to the books in Parliament since 2006. So in 2 years, it would be 20 years since that law was passed, and it is still Ghanaians abroad can't vote, even though Ghanaians abroad bring in over $6 billion every year into Ghana, over. So they want the money from the Ghanaians abroad, but they don't want their vote because they know the Ghanaians abroad, if they were to get involved in voting, they could swing which way voting goes, who wins power. So this is why I said that, listen, if Ghana is not going to change and they don't want Ghanaians living abroad to be able to vote, then you need to move to Ghana and fight if you really love your people and want to serve your people. So that's when I renounced my citizenship, my US citizenship, came to Ghana in 2019, and I started this fight. In 2020, I run, and it's as evidenced in the Ejapadiya document, because they wanted me off the ballot. They said it in the Ejapadiya document on page 26 that they were going to take me off, and they took me off. And they said, oh, Kofi forged signatures, which we all know I didn't because they couldn't prove it, but they had the power to take me off, so they took me off. But the interesting thing is, Survivor, they took me off, but they gave me back 100,000 cedis. So here we are, we running for the second time in 2024. And Survivor, like I always say, there's no candidate who has presented themselves for president who understands the problem better than I do. And let me prove to you why. First of all, The 2024 election is going to be about character and the economy. The three foremost candidates, Bawumia, Mahama, and Chirmanting, they don't have any character because we know what they've been involved in the last 32 years. Lying to Ghanaians. They don't have any character. If any Ghanaian thinks that these three people have any character, then they have not just been paying attention. Because these people have lied through their political parties, which are criminal entities. I want to make it very clear. And if you doubt me, just go outside of wherever you are in Ghana now and take a look outside. Take a look at the street lights, where you live. Take a look at the road and the infrastructure, the gutters, the filth, the smell, the stench. Take a look at everything outside of where you live. See, think about the last time you got, or you did not get power. Your water was cut off. Think about somebody you know who's gotten sick or died in a hospital or gotten killed on the roads of Ghana because of bad roads, potholes and cars and accidents. Think of the bad infrastructure and the cluelessness in designing infrastructure, the cluelessness in designing our schools, our education system, the curriculums that we graduate proudly but don't have jobs, and we go and line up at all the different countries' embassies and get visas and become something of value outside of our country. How disgraceful. So we know it's not working. After 67 years, we don't have any industry to show for. Even toothpick and toilet roll, we import. We import corn, we import cassava, we import cocoa, something that we have been proud for many decades we import. So this is why Kofi Koranting wants to serve his people. And the only reason and the only way we can serve our people wholeheartedly and decisively with sustainable plans is if we hit it from the top, which is going into presidency. We're not going to be able to do anything meaningful at the parliamentary level because every parliamentarian has to present whatever they want to do to the executive office. And they are at the mercy of the executive office because only the executive office approves through the Ministry of Finance monies for projects. So no matter how good your ideas are as a parliamentarian, you still need to get approval from the executive office before you can get anything done. So for me, I know for a fact they want to make sure they tear me apart if I went to parliament just to prove a point that, hey, Kofi was here, we had to pay him, he enjoyed ex gratia, Article 71. And Survivor, I don't want to be a product of that environment where I go in and they get paid when I know I'm going to have very little effect on the system. Where I can have the most effect is at the presidency because the presidency wields all the power. The presidency by the Constitution has been crafted in a way that the presidency single-handedly can make a lot of changes, more than 90% of the changes the presidency can do independent of the legislature or the judiciary. And that's why the presidency of Ghana is one of the most powerful independent positions of any government of the world in its sovereignty. So that's why when you get a bad president there, they actually destroy the country like Akufo-Addo and Bawumia has. And that's why we have an urgency as a youth to change what they have done. And that's why I am running for president. Because you know what, Survivor? Anybody who wants to run for president who cannot show the Ghanaians that they are going to change the Constitution, not kiss it, not hug it, not dance with it, not review it, but change the Constitution in its entirety. Anyone who wants to run for president who can prove to the people of Ghana they're going to eradicate corruption, which means not dance with it, not kiss it, not tango with it. Eradicate corruption, which means if you cause financial loss to the state, we have to eliminate you. We have to kill you, because we know for a fact, Survivor, that the death that corruption is causing to our people is far more than it will ever be in us eliminating the people who cause the corruption. And the third is institute a national development plan. National development plan, because you see, these political parties are very smart. They come in with their agendas called a manifesto. And NDC starts a project, NPP comes in, they don't continue. The reason being that every project that they start, they get monies for the project. They get approvals in parliament for it. They get loans and grants from abroad for it. So the moment the project is started and NPP spends the money in it, then it doesn't make it a worthwhile project for NDC to continue the project. They have to start their own project, squeeze the money out dry for their good. And when NPP comes, they don't continue what NDC has started. And this is the merry-go-round Ghanaians have enjoyed for the last 32 years with these, I would call them clowns. And I call them clowns because, you know, it's only when you vote for clowns for president do you get a circus for a government. And in 32 years, we've seen circuses back and forth. NDC circus, NPP circus, NDC circus, NPP circus, NDC circus, NPP circus. We are tired. And that's why Kofi Kranting is running for president December 7th, 2024. And that's why I am here, and I'm thankful to you that you will expose me to your team, your family, so that they can ask me any question that they want. Now, before I stop and allow for you to begin your questions, all the candidates who were running, I started in 2019. The only people who have been in the race now before 2019, Mahama and Bawumia and Chermanting, everybody else have come after, except for the do-nothings anyway, who are not even worth mentioning. But all the other ones who are coming now, you will see, Survivor, that they are all adopting the Kofi Kranting message. You know, in 2020, when I came on the board and I started talking about, hey, we're going to have 10 ministers. Everybody was laughing and say, 10 ministers, this guy must be crazy. When we talked about we're going to pay traditional leaders, everybody said, you're going to pay traditional leaders? What kind of game are you trying to run around Ghanaians? We talked about artificial intelligence. Everybody was like, artificial intelligence, that will not work for our culture. Now, isn't it funny? When we talked about changing the constitution, when we talk about eliminating criminals, everybody said, oh, Kofi, you got to be crazy. Now everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's including it in their policies because you know what? They have seen that the youth are gravitating towards the Kofi Kranting set of principles. That should tell the youth something. Now, if that wouldn't work or that would not work, nobody would be talking about it. But how come everybody now finds it cute to talk about my policies? Because they know that's where it's at. They know that's what will really change Ghana. And I'm proud because if it's for Ghana, then anybody could steal it. But use it for our people and let's change Ghana together. So with that, I turn it over to you, Survivor, and your team of experts for this forensic interview that you are ready to do, and I'm ready. Let's make it happen.
Respect. Guys, that's wonderful. Mr. Kofi Kranting, thank you so much. It's amazing, you know. you have a lot of things on your I mean, as your campaign message to Ghanaians. Some of the things here that people don't know about, I'm going to read the things on board, the things that Mr. Kofi is interested in doing, his policies, and then the things that he wants to do, his initiative, and then. So let me put that on board. First, you say you are going to change the constitution.
Yes, sir.
Number two, you are going to institute a national development plan. Number
Yes,
three,
sir.
you are going to abolish Article 71 and ex gratia. Number four, you are going to enforce law and order. Number five, to develop the youth for skilled jobs. Number six, institute a flat rate import duty.
Mhm.
Number seven, complete all unfinished project, right? Great. Now we have your focus here. Number one, you are going to put traditional leaders on government payroll.
Hero.
Beautiful. You are going to have 10 ministry, 10 ministers,
Mhm.
10 regions,
Mhm.
2 parliamentarians per region.
Mhm.
You say you are going to abolish regional ministers.
Mhm.
You are going to we will have 100 presidential staffers.
Mhm.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah,
They're currently over 1,000 right now.
All right. So you reduce them to 100.
100.
Good. One building for all ministries.
Yep.
No first or business class travel for officials.
Nope.
No V8 for officials.
Nope.
95% reduction in diplomatic missions.
From 55 to 5.
All right. Abolish company boards.
Mhm.
Beautiful. These are the things on board, guys. So I'll be asking my question in regard to this. So I'm a young man, you know. I am more interested in the youth because I am part of this generation. As I said it in one of my video, that I'm part of this generation, and the decisions we make today are going to affect the next generation. So we have a part to play in the next upcoming generation. So I'm more concerned about the youth. You understand? Because I'm part of them. All right.
Mhm.
So I'll ask question in regards to what we have here. Changing of the constitution, Mr. Kofi Cranton. But before we go right into that, you know, today the youth globally, I mean, in Africa and
Mhm.
including Ghana, they believe that it can take only a Pan-African to come on board to put things in order. And this is one of the things. When I started posting about, independent presidential candidate, people, more of the time when I come live, people are like, do you have any Pan-African in your country? Do you have any of the Pan-Africans in your country? So we want to know, there are 2 types of leaders. We have the politicians who want to come to power and then run the whole system the way it is. We are looking for a leader, or some people are looking for a leader who is a Pan-African that will stand in the face of the enemy and then push the enemy away and do the right thing. That will make the nation a sovereign nation, because as it stands, the nation is not a sovereign. So we want to ask you, are you a Pan-African?
Absolutely. But now let me say this though. Before you can be a true Pan-African, you have to do what works for your people. Because if your people don't have the food, don't have the water, don't have the basics, trust me, you are going to be controlled by somebody.
Beautiful. Before I get your things on board, let me add another one. The system that we are running, because we are no longer living in 1960, so we have so much information available to understand the fact that the system is being hijacked by, outside influence. The problem of Ghana is internal and the external. The external problem that we are having is the control and the engagement of the Western influence in our country, which make it almost impossible for us to function, make it almost impossible for our government to function. And at the same time, the government, no matter who you are, because of the system, the way the system is designed, even if you are Jesus, you come on board, you are going to be corrupt. How are you going to deal with the system? Are you going to work and then move along with the same system, or you are going to drop down the system and then draft a new system altogether? Or you go away? We just flow with the system. And what are you going to do with the Western influence? Because they don't allow you to do things in the favor of your people. They want you to do things in their favor. So how are you going to deal with that?
Well, true and not true. You see, and this is why this meeting here today is so important, Survivor. Because you see, where does it all start? It starts from first, how people come in, how the people allow for the so-called leaders to assume the position of leadership. Let me explain it to you. Kofi Kranting is running for president. Many of you are wondering, Kofi Kranting, when are we going to see 100 billboards? When are we going to see branded cars? When are you going to give people money for them to be combing all the 16 regions and doing this and doing? It takes money. Now, there are people sitting there watching Ghana. And what they do is, Survivor, they take a look and they see Kofi Kranting, they see person B, person C, they see Mahama, they see Baumia, they see Chamanting and everybody else. And then they are rich enough that they give every single one of them money if they want. They give everybody money because somebody has to win this race, Survivor. So if they identify 3 people who can win, these are the 3 people we, the rich people, think can win. They give them all $20 million, $30 million. They know one of them is going to win. Once one of them win, they come back and they say, okay, this is how it works. Sit back, enjoy, you black after all, make some money, buy some Rolls Royces, have 20 million women in your palace, have some fun. Let us help you to control this thing. Then they will make suggestions to you who should be your finance minister, who should be your agri minister, who should be your education minister. And the reason is, when they put these puppets in place where they want them, then they can run the system the way they want. Why can you not stop them? Well, because they gave you money for your campaign. Now, has Kofi Kranting borrowed any money for his campaign? No. But the people don't like Kofi Kranting. The people want to see Kofi Kranting do flash. I have cars. I have Rolls Royces. I'm driving around in big Benzos and big Lambos. That's what you want to see. That's not what I'm going to do. You see, the people are substandardized to thinking that the bigger your campaign is, the better you are going to be. And it's the exact opposite. Because the moment the person comes in and they can afford certain things, giving flat screens, giving deep freezers and stoves and giving cars away, then it means they're going to own you for many, many decades. And they are not going to come and fix your roads and your hospitals and have your children get good jobs. That's what they gave you in a deep freezer. That's what they gave you in a flat screen. You see? So the moment you see money, you should run the opposite direction, and you should be asking yourself, who in this campaign is not giving money? Kofi Kranting is not giving any money because he believes that Ghana should be for Ghanaians. So if Ghanaians will rise up to that level of consciousness, then they will get their country and they will have their money go to work for them, not for somebody else. So that's the first thing we need to establish. If you don't go and get money from somebody sitting on the sideline watching, then nobody's going to come and control you. So the reason why a lot of Black people think their governments are controlled, yes, they are controlled because you went for money that you shouldn't have. That's why I'm not going for any money. You see how we're different? Because the moment I go and get money, I become like them. And then when I get power, everybody's going to be saying, you see, Kofi did the same thing like he talked about. He's just like the NDC and MPP. And then people lose more hope. And this is why the corruption levels are the way that they are. So if you don't want foreigners and other people to control your country, do not expect people who are running for positions to do big campaigns. And you should, by all means, find out how they're getting their money, because that's where the secret is. If somebody cannot prove to you how they got their money, chances are they're being controlled by somebody. Why would
Beautiful.
Akufo-Addo have 127 ministers in the first term? Does it make sense to you? 127 ministers. Just doesn't, it's mind-boggling for 33 million people. Well, how did he get his money? See, that question has not been answered yet. That's a question for the electoral commissioner to have answered, but they haven't, because everybody's supposed to disclose how much money they come into politics with. You see, the electoral commission does not enforce that. So nobody writes anything on their sheet. If I go and I say, my name is Kofi Koranteng, I'm coming in with $100 million, then when I come in, I can steal 100 million and make it look like it's my money.
Okay. Respect. Thank you so much. Okay, you have the changing of the constitution is on board. Now, how are you going to do that since you are going to work with it? This is a question on board. I mean, out there. So people will be interested, and there are a lot of people who are putting these questions on board in forms of videos, and we are seeing. So we just have to pull it out so that you answer us. The changing of the constitution, how are you going to do this? Since we have the understanding that the constitution actually protects the thieves and the looters in office, and you are going to work with the thieves and the looters. I'm calling them that like that. That's because that is what they are. I'm just trying to be truthful, all right? So how are you going to remove the shield that is protecting the thieves that you are going to work with?
Okay.
Because definitely you are going to pass through the parliament to be able to change the constitution.
Well, the parliament is a terminal that the process of constitution change goes through, but it doesn't stop there. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is the parliament is a place where it's an organ where, because of process, constitution change has to go through. But the people in parliament cannot stop the process of a constitutional change. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So when I am president, you have to understand, people vote for me to be president. So the people who vote for me to be president will be more than any other party or any other candidate. That's why I become president. So now I go to the same people and say, folks, I am president now, so please help me so that the promises I made to you, the things I told you I was going to change, we can change. And we're going to do that through a referendum. So I call my council and I tell them to start the process. The council brings that to the floor of parliament, not for it to be debated upon to say whether Kofi can change it or cannot change it. It's a process that has to make a stop. The first stop is in parliament. When it gets to parliament, they will do a reading on it, and then they will give it to the Council of State. The Council of State will take the request to change the parliament, request to change the constitution, and they will deliberate over it for 30 days. They're not deliberating over it to stop it from going through. They just deliberating over it as a matter of process. Once they finish deliberating on it, they will bring it to what we call the Gazette. It will be gazetted for 90 days, 3 months, so that the entire Ghana will take a look and get an understanding of why the president wants to make these changes, so that they could also express their feeling towards the change. If there is a high sentiment for it, people get to know. If people are against it, people get to know, because it all becomes relevant when it comes back to the electoral commissioner, and the electoral commissioner has to prepare the documents for the referendum. Because what has to happen after the 90 days in the Gazette, it goes back to Parliament, it gets another reading, and then it goes to the Electoral Commission to start process for the referendum. Now, for the referendum to go forth, 40% of the people registered on the voter registry have to take place in the referendum. And for the referendum to pass into law, at least 70% of the 40% have to vote in favor of the referendum. So when it comes back to Parliament, the Electoral Commissioner will be presenting to Parliament the results of the referendum. But Parliament, majority, minority cannot say, we agree, we don't agree. They will just be presented with the results. And if the results meet 70% or more, they have a responsibility not to say yes or no, to pass it into law and be assented by the president. That's all there is to it.
Wow. I hope this is clear to everybody.
I hope so. This is not something I am saying. You see, the process of changing every constitution is in the constitution.
Okay.
So this that I'm saying is in the constitution. So it's not what I am saying, it's what the process is.
So it is going to be the people, if the parliament want to oppose it, you take it from the parliament and give it to the people to endorse it.
No, the parliament cannot oppose it. The parliament just process it.
All right. All right.
You see, now, if let's just say if somebody says, oh, I'm in disagreement with what Kofi is doing as a president.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So then they have to go out and form their own interest groups for them to say when it's in the Gazette, or it's making its rounds around the country. Let's say Western region comes and say, we don't agree with these proposals. Oh, Eastern region comes and says, we don't agree, because maybe the parliamentarians in the Eastern region have educated the people in Eastern region to say, no, 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 and then they oppose it. So when it goes to vote, Eastern region votes against it, Western region votes against it, and it gets, let's say, 68.5%. It didn't quite make the 70%, it's thrown out. But you cannot come to Parliament to say, we are not going to do it. You express your dissatisfaction or disagreement to the referendum through your voting.
Beautiful. Beautiful. It's quite clear to me. If somebody have something, I mean, not clear, you can put it in the comment section. Once we are done, the questions in the comment section will be answered. Today, Mr. Kofi Koranteng is here with us. Yeah. Those of you who are joining, greetings and respect to everybody in the comment section. You know, Mr. Kofi Koranteng is presidential aspirant running, I mean, to lead this great nation, Ghana. You know, we are beautiful people in Ghana. Everybody here can attest to the fact that we are beautiful people in a beautiful country with ugly leaders. That's just what it is. But we are all interested in changing things. You understand? We want the best for the nation. We want to change. If you practice something for 10, 20 years, you're not getting the result needed. You do what? You change it and then change strategy. So that's why we are here. All right. Mr. Kofi Koranteng, you are talking about Institute and National Development Plan. This is one of the things that I love so much, and I believe that it can help our nation a lot. The Chinese have done it. We can see it. It has been done in other developed countries. They are not just working like nobody's business. They are running on a chart, and then we can see where they are. I always say that as a young man or a young woman, if you are doing business or whatever you are doing, and then you don't have a vision, you don't have a plan, you are going nowhere. So this national institution, you said you want to institute a national development plan. How are you going to do this? Do you have a plan already, or it's now after office before you are going to find ways and means to draft the plan?
It's all on paper already, getting ready to hit the ground running. Because you see, this is a mistake that all these other governments have made. And this is a mistake I know all these other candidates who are talking, you could tell from how they talk that they don't have that in mind. So I know that they're not quite a level 5 thinker and leaders, you know? Let me tell you a couple of things. So in 67 years, I want you to think of one of these things I'm going to talk about that the leaders of Ghana have been able to do well. 67 years, that's a long time. So housing, healthcare, employment, education, telecommunication, transportation, security, recreation, markets, and a functional central business district. Out of these 10 things, which every developed nation has, Ghana does not have even one. You see, so what has happened in 67 years is we have spent a lot of money by these governments, but they have done it in isolation. If you don't do it step by step, foundation after foundation, then you get to the top and find out that you were climbing a downward escalator. The moment you stop, you come down to zero. You see? So you have to do it strategically, and it has to come from some sense of knowing. So that's why we talk about, say, for instance, I'll go one by one, housing. Why is housing important? If people don't get a place to rest their head, there is absolutely no way you can even begin to have the peace of mind to work, to eat well, not get sick. You're exposed. So you need housing. Look around. Sunday, I was at Odona Circle, taking a look at. I went all over in Circle. People live there. People live and work, having babies. This is their life. How is a person supposed to be a high producer if they live and work in Circle, where they use toilet facilities right where they sleep and throw it in a bag into the Odona River? The place, there is a serious stench. There is silt in the Odona. The place is filthy. It smells. There is garbage all over. The people are just looking at death. It's a haven for homelessness and deranged people. There is something seriously wrong with a country that brags #1 gold in the whole Africa, #6 in the world, and our people have been neglected to that level. It's sad. It's sad. You go there and you cry, because you will know that our leaders have no respect for human beings. They don't have any respect for human beings. If they did, go and look at people, crackhead, junkies. And I had conversations with some of them. They had come from their towns because there was no work. It's all sorts of sad stories. If we do not take care of them, who should? Who should? But obviously the government does not care. They want to drive V8s and travel to all these countries around the world and spend big dollars and eat the filet mignons and drink the, more chandons. And if they think it's done for them, we can't allow for that to happen. The conscious few of us have to change that dynamic. You know, when you go and you look at people all naked, lying there with feces all over them, it should sadden every decent human being. because it's a reflection. The person laying on the floor with feces all over, dirty, haven't washed in God knows how long, underfed, no food. It's you laying there. That's you. You should feel offended. And this is what I saw. And I take offense when I see things like that, because you cannot tell me we have people driving in V8s, they don't pay gas, they just present their vouchers and their cars get filled, and then they don't have a place to sleep. I know people who graduate who sleep in kiosks. You know, they sleep in kiosks. They don't, all they do is go into sleep. The rest of the day, they have a little comport and they cook outside. They go to the local place to use the bathroom and bathe. I went to the bathhouse, people showering, and I'm like, wow, this is how it is. You live in Circle and there's a shower house in Circle. If you have money, you go, you pay, you go take a dump and you go shower and you come home, and for a week you don't take a shower because you can't afford it. And for those who can afford it, well, Odona is the easy way to go. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, you do all of it in the Odona. What kind of life is that? And then Mahama comes and says, hey, I built Circle Dubai for you for $260 million. And he left Odona. They forgot. It was too small, so they forgot. Wow. Wow, that's unforgivable. So anyhow.
I mean, last one on the National Development Plan is already set. You have everything on paper. Absolutely. Everything is set. Absolutely. A plan. Is it a plan of 50 years? Just a little bit of, is it 50 years, 100 years? I mean, kind of something of sort?
It's a 50-year plan broken in 4-year cycles, because you know the governments have 4 years to come and perform. Okay, so every 4 year, it's an increments of 4 years, 4 years, 4 years, 4 years, but it's a 50-year stretch.
All right. So in every 4 years, there must be a move from one step to another towards the 50 years plan.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Survivor, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Okay, so let's go to. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You disappeared for a second. Go ahead.
All right. That's it. Let's go to number 3. One of very interesting. Abolishment of Article 71 and ex gratia. I want you to enlighten. You know, Ghana, that's the fact, we don't read. So the Article 71 and this ex gratia, a lot of people don't know what it is about. So I want you to brief us a little bit about what it is about, and then why you want to change it, and then so that people can know what it is all about. You see?
It's, in simple terms, Survivor, it's called unjustified emoluments. That's all.
Unjustified?
It's unjustified. Emoluments.
Emolument.
Yeah, because you see, they're getting paid for something they've gotten paid for already.
Okay.
You know, it's an avenue for them to steal more money. First of all, you see, ex gratia, it's really supposed to be a token of appreciation. I don't know where it turned to be money. It's supposed to be a token of appreciation. So if you get a certificate and you have it on your wall, that's ex gratia. How these people made it to be money, I don't know. It's just supposed to be saying that the government of Ghana appreciates your service to the citizens of Ghana. That's all. And some people decided to take it in money, and now it's become a standard. It was never supposed to be like that. So when we come, well, we're going to cancel ex gratia, but we're really not going to cancel ex gratia. Okay, people of Ghana, I lied. I'm not going to take away ex gratia. I'm going to give it bigger. And the bigger is the certificate will be bigger, okay? no money, just a bigger certificate. We will actually put it in a glass frame for you. I'm sure Official will like one. Official, I'll give you ex gratia. Okay.
You know what?
It
One of
will
the
be
things that are
it will
one
be
of
in a
the things.
glass frame. I'll make yours glass frame.
All right, all right.
No, no money. So everybody will get ex gratia who works at the presidency or who is an appointee of the state. But guys, the money business, okay, it's see ya, no more money.
This is my understanding of corruption. When you are working in the public office, whatever amount you are earning mentally, the agreement sign that this is you are earning $100 mentally. If you earn $100 mentally, and then at the end of the month you have consumed more than $100, you are corrupt, because the rest is you are eating state money.
Of course.
That is my understanding of corruption. Yeah. So technically, that's right. Let's go to. I have the number. You know, I'll first of all, I'm trying my best to focus on the things that you have on board. You know, we need to ask questions regarding those things before, if our individual questions or whatever. So,
Sure.
Mr. Kofi, we are going to be making a brief a little bit for us.
No problem.
So that, yeah, thank you so much. Now, enforcement of law and order. So as it is right now, it is obvious there's no order. I mean, the law is not working. We can clearly see our law. You see, these are things that it is not like I'm trying to be biased, but I'm trying to point out the fact. The judicial system is protecting, I mean, the corrupt leaders, and then fighting those who are fighting corruption. That's what we are saying.
That's what it is.
So, beautiful. So the enforcement of law and order, how are you going to do that for it to be different than what we are seeing today? How is that going to be possible? What action are you going to take to make the law work? Because practically, the law right now in Ghana has become a shield to protect corruption. So how are you going to make it work? Thank you.
All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to surgically segregate the president from all the other sectors: executive, judiciary, and the legislature. Okay, the president is connected umbilical cord to all of these areas and so many other ways. So when we surgically separate the president from it, he has no, or she will have no bearing or control. The systems will function in the true independent functioning. That's why we're going to have what we call the Public Service Commission. The Service Public Commission is going to appoint people, all the 6,000 people that the president employs, my wife's cousins, mothers, daughters, sons, second sisters, husbands, brother, all those nonsense will stop. There will be a Public Service Commission, and they will make recommendations. Every high level position, that IGP, Lecturer Commissioner, Accountant General, all the judges, it goes through a Public Service Commission. You see, when you do that, their loyalty is not to a president, their loyalty is to the citizens of Ghana. So they're not worried about any retribution. The president cannot come after them because he didn't appoint them. Okay, so that's how the first thing we need to do. And then we're going to go, okay, can you guys hear me? Oh, okay, good, okay, good. And then we're going to go on a zero tolerance crusade. The zero tolerance crusade is this: everyone, survivor, who comes into government will have to sign a waiver of release. The waiver will say that, hey, survivor, if you cause financial loss to the state, your neck is for the given. It means we have the right as a government, once we prosecute you, to be guilty to kill you for causing financial loss to the state. Okay, so
It is not going to be imprisonment. It's going to be.
We listen. The prisons are full, and we're not planning on building more prisons. We want to get rid of people. Okay, so we're gonna get just. I know it's people are saying that. Oh my gosh, Kofi, that. Yeah, listen, guys. At this point, I'm sick and tired of the levels of corruption, and I don't want to disappoint you, people of Ghana. So my solution to all of this is I have accepted the full responsibility of being the executioner in chief. I'm going to exterminate people. You steal, you gone. We're going to kill what kills Ghanaians. Simple.
Wow. This is solid. This is solid. All right. Let's. This is solid. The prisons are full, so we are not interested in building more. So we just have to get rid of the corrupt leaders. All right. Mr. Kofi, this is where I have my most interest. Developing youth for skilled job. Somebody said Mr. Kofi granted the exterminator.
Oh,
yeah, you
no
know,
doubt.
it's a standard. Yeah,
We're
so
gonna clean house.
yeah, okay. So the in number 5 is saying that you're going to develop youth for skilled jobs. What is it going to be about? How is it going to be implemented?
So real quick.
What do you have for the youth in that regard?
Okay, so real quick, if you take a look at Ghana right now, our competency level is very low. What that means is we could work 1,000 hours a day, but the monies that we make was not going to be able to help us get cars, air conditioners, refrigerators on a monthly basis. We can't. Most of us will not be able to go on vacations to abroad and eat good food and live in the right places. We can't. You understand what I'm saying? Very few people make over 5,000 cedis a month in Ghana. Very few people. Okay, the average is between maybe $1,000 to $2,000, 2,000 cedis a month. Most people. So what we want to do is, because it's a low-level service industry in Ghana, until we get into a high competency level, our monies are going to be Survivor. You know what Woma is? Woma. You know, the pistol.
Yes.
Okay. So how many Womas can you make? How many Asanka can you make? How many chewing stick can you make? No matter if you make 1 billion chewing sticks, not all is going to be sold, and even if all were sold, you will not make enough money to live the vida loca. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is one NVIDIA microchip could cost $100,000 because of the high competency level. One Audemars Piguet watch could cost $250,000 because of the high competency level. You could sell a Veuve Clicquot champagne for a couple of $100 a bottle. You cannot sell Insenfu for $20 a bottle. You see? So the competency level, it's all in the presentation, it's all in the value add, and we don't do that. That's why they take away all our gold, they take away all our oil, they take away all our cocoa, and we still broke. We don't know how to add value, and we cannot add value until we increase the competency level. The competency level comes from training our people to be highly competent, and once you become highly competent, you become highly complex. Competency is vertical. Complexity is horizontal. Once you get to the highest level of a competency level, you go complex horizontally. We need to start doing those things. So the highest competency level countries are like Germany, Taiwan, China. That's why their people are making so much money.
That's the highest competency level countries.
Germany is a very high competency level. That's why Daimler, Porsche, all the Switzerland is a very high competency country. So the highest competency, Taiwan is a very high competency. So the high competency countries are making so much money because you see, the trick is survivor. You need to produce something that nobody else can.
Okay.
What is it that Ghana does that nobody else can do? The gari that we make, Nigeria makes better gari. You see, the yam, for the pounded yam, Nigeria makes it better. The beans for awache comes from Niger. The onions and the tomatoes come from Burkina. Even our national dish, the rice don't come from Ghana, the tomatoes don't come from Ghana, the onions don't come from Ghana, the oil don't come from Ghana. What's going on? So what I'm saying is what is it that we do, we make with our hands, with our mind, that the rest of the world cannot make? Tell me. No, seriously, tell me. Tilapia, grilled tilapia. China makes the tilapia we eat in Ghana, and they sell it to Ghanaians abroad. You know where they make it? They farm the tilapia. They farm the tilapia in Mexico and Brazil because they don't eat tilapia.
All right. Wow. We have a problem. We have a serious problem. So
no, we don't have a problem. We have a suicide.
Yeah. So the youth, you are going to use the youth to fill that space, to fill that gap.
Absolutely. That's the only way we can catch up. That's why I talk about artificial intelligence, virtual reality, augmented reality, cellular intelligence, nanotechnology, quantum computing. I'm the only one who talks like that. First of all, I guarantee you in the next couple of weeks, they're all going to be talking this stuff and they don't even have a clue what it is. But just
I wanted to even ask you because we have our vice president who is in power and then he's in opposition at the same time. Currently, he's running both sides. We don't know whether he's still on board as the vice president or he has resigned currently. I don't know what's happening.
He quit a long time ago. You guys
right.
did not know. Because the guy does nothing anyway, so nobody misses him when he's not there. He doesn't do anything.
So you see, you see, this is it. He's talking about digitalization. Is that not kind of same thing?
Listen. I went to MTN today, okay? MTN. So I'm asking MTN, what happened to Bahumia's digitization? He says, oh, Masa. I mean, seriously, go somewhere. They don't have a... Hey. Hey,
no
digitization
problem.
is only in, do you know where digitization is more than anywhere in the world? In Bahumia's pocket. That's where digitization. And the only person who could touch that digitization is Samira Bahumia when she puts her hands in what's his name's pocket. That's the only time. It doesn't work for anything else. I'm telling you. Listen, first of all, digitization is off the past. We are in virtual reality, artificial general intelligence, nanotechnology, quantum computing, Internet of Things. That's what we are. These guys are so behind.
Beautiful.
They are light years behind. They don't even understand this.
That's right. That's right. It's like, anyway, then you have, I mean, number 6 here is to institute a flat rate import duty.
Excellent. Well, what we're going to do is anyone who has lived abroad for 7 years or more, if they decide that they come into Ghana, all their possessions will be at 1% charge. It's really zero. We won't charge them. The 1%, it's only applied for administrative charges. And the reason is this: when people in the diaspora who have acquired a lot of wealth and knowledge and expertise in different things come home, When they come, they employ people to do things for them. So they elevate commerce. And to elevate commerce is very expensive. They do that for the economy for free. So in giving them back and incenting them to come to Ghana, we'll say, come to Ghana, we're not going to charge you anything. If they bring a car, somebody has to drive it. If their machines fall apart, somebody has to fix it. Somebody would have to take care of their kids and their ailing parents and themselves, and it goes on and on and on. So they're a huge, huge asset to our economy. So we want to incent them to come. Now, let me tell you this. This is why countries like the United States and Germany, Canada, and all these places are quick in making them citizens so that they could stay there. That's why Kofi Gaps is not coming to Ghana. He's happy with his Netherlands passport. He gets food to eat and he drinks beer all day. You know, he's happy. He comes to Ghana, he's not going to get it like that, at least for now.
Okay. Mr. Kofi Koranteng, the number 6 is clear in a way that I don't think the number 6 have any particular question around it, which is to complete all unfinished projects. That is one thing that is clear. I don't think I have to ask you how you are going to do it. Is something that there's no. So before we go to your focus, are you know, you have beautiful vision. You have great ideas. All of us, we can attest to that fact. Especially, it's like the independent candidate. You have good ideas. You know, I watch a video of you. You've gone to. I see. Were you in China? Where you were, I mean, trying to tell us how, you know, you were speaking Twi. At first, I was listening to you and then following you, and then I was finding difficulty. Do you know what happened? What happened was that there are people sending me messages those days. Guy, go and listen to Mr. Kofi Koranteng. Go and listen to Mr. Kofi Koranteng. And the messages keep coming, and I was like, who is them? I don't know. So I started checking, and let me check, and then most of your video that I've gotten is in Twi. So I got one of them. I follow a little bit. I realized that you were telling us about how you are going to use technology to switch and change things, to make differences, all right, in our political, world. Now, this is the case. This is a big concern of all of us. It's coming back. It's coming back. I don't know why. His network. Guys, keep tapping on your screen. It's coming back. His network is flopping out there. Let's hope he come back. Let's hope he come back. I want to ask him about the consideration of them coming together. Won't it be a nice thing? What is keeping them from coming together? I mean, I just want to ask him that question before we go forward. I don't know. We need him on board. Oh, no. Somebody said, oh, no. We need him on board. He have to come back. Mr. Kofi must come back. I don't know, his network. Guys, keep tapping on your screen. It's connecting. Let's see. It's connecting. Okay, Mr. Kofi, it's like your network.
Listen, if thank God you're not performing a surgical procedure on me, I would have died a long time. You see, that's why nobody wants to come to Ghana. I'm telling you, man, this network. Listen, I have so much credit data. Now when I go, they say, why you buy more credit? I went to Vodafone today. They're like, why do you want to buy more credit? You have so much credit, it can last you for a year and don't buy credit. And then it just goes off and says, no internet connection. I'm serious. And then MTN tells me that, oh, you know, right now we don't sell Wi-Fi devices any longer, so you can't buy it. I was like, why? Well, no reason. We just decided not to buy, because they see that they are exploiting people using their phone as hotspots. You see? So if you use your phone as a hotspot, you pay more money. And they figured, why don't we just screw these guys rather than give them the opportunity to buy the Wi-Fi?
Exactly.
Pods. And the
Exactly.
government doesn't say anything about this. Why? If you're looking out for your people. Anyway, go
Beautiful.
ahead.
It's a good thing that you are back on board. Consider, one of the things that is most concerning is our resources. The way our resources are being mismanaged is a headache to all the youth, because the resources that we have in Ghana, the youth should be doing better. I mean, we are supposed to be doing better as a nation. We are not supposed to be broke. And even with the 13, 15, and 10% deals that they have made with our resources, we can clearly see that they have enough money to even transform the nation, but they have all the money in their pocket. So if that is the case, if the resources are managed properly, I think we can have a long way to go as a nation. It's going to have a lot of impact positively on our economic performance. The way the youth, I mean, it's going to change life. Now, what are you going to do with the former deals concerning our resources? Are you going to cancel and then reconsider all of them? What's going to happen? We want to know. What are you going to do?
We're going to look at all the deals since the inception of independence. And any of them that we can abrogate, we will get out. Every deal. Because you see, the laziness of our leaders is that we are not good enough to do for ourselves, so we always have to bring some foreigner in to do for us. Survivor, what is the purpose of a university? The whole idea of a university is for people, the youth, to graduate into a university, a higher level of education, to help a nation solve its problems. So if you take a look at all the people who've gone through UG and KNUST and UCT and all the other universities in Ghana, what has been the benefit to Ghana? Ask. What problem have they come to solve? I don't see any problems. What patents do we have? Do we have any patent? Even the students don't have a patent, and the professors who teach the students don't have a patent. That's sad. It means we are not thinking high enough. We're not thinking big enough. So what we are going to do, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, okay. So what we are going to do is we're going to make sure the universities are solving our problems. You see, the universities have to solve our problems. We are going to incent higher education to solve problems for Ghana. So we don't have, every time you hear on the news, I tell you, tomorrow, check, listen to the news all day. Oh, the minister of signed an MOU with lazy thinking. Anytime I hear that, I get upset, because I never hear MOU mentioned in Singapore, in America, in Germany. Nobody signs an MOU. It's only in Africa, because we have lazy leaders. They always think the way to do it is by an MOU. Have a partnership with a foreign. Why do you need a partnership? To do what? You need a partnership for them to bring their brains and you bring your brains. So if you need Shito and Komi, ni Oye, and somebody is bringing the Shito and you making the Komi, why don't you learn how to make the Shito so you wouldn't have to depend on the person to bring the Shito? You control the Shito and the Komi. Am I making sense? Or is this too difficult? What is it that every day we have to go to somebody for the Shito? Because you make Komi and you are happy with your Komi. So somebody else have to give you Shito. Why can't you learn how to make the Shito? Me, I don't understand. Every day MOU. Shito kokena. Shito ke nine Komi. Shito ke Komi every day. Why? I don't understand. So the idea is to teach our universities to know how to make everything we need. I don't believe in having 10% and 90%, 50% and 50%, 40 and 30. I'm not into, all I'm interested in is 100% for Ghana, because we control everything from ground to finish. Everything. That's what I'm interested in, and that's what our universities are going to do.
All right. We our There's one thing also which is very concerning. That is why I always say on my platform that our youth in the country, something happened even no, it was 2 days ago in the night.
Survivor, I can't. Am I off the screen? I don't
No,
know.
no, 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 no. You're on. You're on. We can hear you. We can see you properly.
Oh, you can see me? Okay, good.
Yeah. Are you having any problem there on your screen?
No, because I can't see the screen. That's why I don't know if other people can see. Can everybody see?
Yeah, everybody can see you. You are loud.
Okay.
You are clear.
Okay, good.
Yeah. You see, we have a situation where our youth are living like slaves.
Absolutely.
That is a fact. The minimum wage for the youth is embarrassing, and it is sad.
Yes.
It is really, really embarrassing, and I can clearly see that the leadership doesn't care big about this.
No.
They don't care shishi about this particular issue because they are doing a lot of useless things out there, channel their energy doing this. So what are you going to do about the minimum wage? Because the young man is working, the young man is supposed to work, and then with hope that the money he's earning, he can be able to make proper living out of it. How are you going to deal with that? And so I want you to blend this with how do you call it? Blend this with this thing with us. The issue of unemployment, the rate of unemployment in Ghana. So blend these two questions together for us.
So the first thing is, Survivor, what we're going to do is we're the only leadership that's going to put $10 billion into agriculture for every year for the next 10 years. We want to make Ghana the agricultural hub of the world. Okay? We're the only one who has that goal. Only one who has that goal. Now, I see a lot of people copying it, but they don't have a clue. But so listen, we're going to make Ghana the agricultural hub of the world. We're going to build a big airport around the Bronx area because that's our richest area in terms of production of food. And then we're going to ship stuff from the north there and then ship it out. Everything that's organic is going to leave Ghana fresh to the rest of the world. Now, let me tell you, the reason why we have to do that is because we have to take the output from our agro-based industries and add value and export so we can get foreign exchange reserves. Once we get the foreign exchange reserves, we're going to go into what we call a horizontal integration. Horizontal integration is to expand industry. So the first level is we expand industry on the agricultural level. The second level, once we get foreign exchange reserve, is to build industry that will take care of our domestic needs. Gas, stove, rice cookers, irons, air conditioners, deep freezers, all the household stuff, microwave ovens, everything we use in the household. Chairs, furniture, TV, we do it on a household level. Well, maybe not TV. TV's on the third level. TV and electronics, computers are on the third level. Once we take now when we do the second level industry, it will absorb almost 90% by then of unemployment. Because guess what? 90% of our domestic market is controlled by China and the rest of the world.
Okay.
So imagine how much money. Go to Kantamanto. I don't know last time you went to Kantamanto. I go to Kantamanto because I want to. The Chinese have taken over the old UTC building. You know the old UTC building?
Sure.
They've used the entire place for storage, and they're storing counterfeit everything, from shoes to bags to. The counterfeit market is about a $60 billion market every year. And they bring it to Africa. You know why they bring it to Africa? There's no regulation. There's no regulation. You can't sell counterfeit in New York. You get busted. You can't sell it in Singapore. You can't sell it. You get busted. You have to go to specialized places. When you get busted, you go to jail. So people don't do it. But in Ghana, who's going to catch you? The policeman who is coming after you need the counterfeit. So you just give him one and he goes to sleep. You see? So
All right.
what I'm saying is that taking over the domestic market will reverse the unemployment dramatically. And then the third level of production will be sophisticated electronics and technology. And then that's where competency really goes up the roof.
Okay.
Now, you did the second part of the question. We're going to control into employment if you hire a Ghanaian citizen for whatever skill set they have, there will be a recommended amount you have to pay them. You cannot pay them less. You can pay them more, but you will not be able to pay them less. If you are found paying a Ghanaian citizen less than the amount that is required for you to pay them, oh my gosh, you're not going to be in business, because the fine that you will pay, and then it's going to be retroactive. So if, let's say, you've hired the person for 6 months and you are paying them, say, let's say 1,000 cedis a month, and we caught you and you were supposed to be paying them 2,000 cedis a month, you will pay them back all the 6 months, and then you get a fine. And then you might end up in jail. It's not going to be worth it. It's not going to be worth it. You will not be able to exploit a Ghanaian worker. And now, let me tell you what they do. The Lebanese, because they don't want to pay Ghanaian workers like part-time and full-time, what they do is, if your part-time is 20 hours, they have you come in 16 hours, so that because you don't meet that threshold, they don't have to pay you. You see, they pay you only a couple of hours and then you go home. So rather than them having 2 full-time workers, they have 4 part-time workers, and they don't pay anybody benefits.
All right.
See, so we're going to make sure you can't do that. You have to pay people, their mothers, their husbands, pay them full-time, pay them benefits, give them medical.
So even now, all right, if the way things are, it is impossible, based on the standard that the government has set, or based on the standard that we are running in the country, which allow a penny for minimum wage. So if now the minimum wage, let's say, is 14 cedis, and the company come on board and then is paying you, I mean, more than 14 cedis, even if they are paying you 800 cedis, they are doing you a favor. Unless we raise the standard above to the level where, I mean, if that is the minimum, it should be able to make the Ghanaian comfortable.
Yeah, so, but guess what? These private institutions have lobbied to the ministers in the sectors who have set the standards. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's all artificially done. They don't take into consideration the COLA. You know what COLA is? The cost of living allowance. You know, they don't take into account the standards. Every society has a standard. Our standard is so expensive. Listen, today I went to eat gari and beans, yoko gari, right? Ato soup. It was 25 cedis. Now I usually eat 20 cedis, but today it was 25 cedis, right? But 25 cedis, even if I ate it 3 times a day, that's 75 cedis. No, I'm serious. Listen,
yeah, that's it. Of course.
Yeah, 75 cedis for 30 days is no joke. It's no joke. So if you don't get paid, a single person like me, forget about 3 meals a day. You would die. You can't. If you will eat at 3 meals a day, but you won't be able to pay trotro to get to work, and they will fire you. So
Yeah.
you have to eat 1 meal, and then maybe some snack, or do some soakings. You know, by 4 soakings with some.
Ivo is not serving the community.
I'm telling you, man. So it's tough for
Justice for the Government Eaters Association.
Listen, one cocoa like this, I could put 6 in my mouth. 6 CDs to cocoa. What?
Of
It's
course.
flat. It's paper thin. So
Yeah,
you
of
can lump
course.
it together like this and put it in your mouth one time. 6 CDs gone.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, Ghana.
It's a fact because the food is, yeah, as someone said, food is basic needs, and when the people eat very well, food is available. I mean, people can think, but when the people are hungry, people cannot
Listen,
think.
let me tell you, when
So,
I went to Singapore, when I went to Singapore, I was like, why is food so cheap? Listen, they don't plant any food on the island. No food because they don't have space. But food is abundant, like good food. Listen, everywhere you go, there is food. It's amazing. The food is good, like quality
yeah,
food. Everybody eats well. Every building, every complex, underneath restaurants, they do it like that for people. You don't have to go far to get good food to eat. I mean, they think, yeah, Radhi. They think about the people,
mm,
and nobody's homeless. Even the people who are hawkers on the street, they all have their apartments. And you go into the apartment, it's a small place. Like if boys, 3 boys, they can have one apartment, 3 rooms. They share a kitchen, they share bathroom and toilet, but they have a place to lay their head. They have
yeah,
warm water, they have sink, they have everything. So that they think about how they could better their lives.
exactly. Mr. Kofi, Mr. Kofi, right now I'm close to, I'm running a chat so that I open the boxes for people to come and ask their individual question. But I want to finish with what is here. So we are going to take it a little bit much more, shorter, so that you say you are going to
No
put
problem.
traditional leaders on government payroll.
Yes.
Do you think it is necessary to put them on government payroll, and why?
Absolutely, because according to our culture, they own the land. They are custodians to the land. We want to take over the land and use it for agriculture. And the produce that we are going to produce from the agriculture, the proceeds is what we're going to use some to pay them. So it makes sense for you to put them on payroll so that we don't go into any litigation. They're going to release the lands for us to cultivate. You see what I'm saying? So it makes sense. Next question.
All right. Wonderful. Because when I saw it, I was like, oh, why, putting these people on board? I don't know why, but I think the way you explain it, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you say you are going to have only 10 ministry. Just 10 ministry.
Agriculture, education, energy, employment and entrepreneurial development, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Trade and Industry. 10.
That's 10.
Yeah.
All right. That's just all we need.
That's all you need. Because
And Mr. Kofi, how many do we have currently?
It's ridiculous, like 60 something.
Yeah, guys, there's and all this money is going for no reason.
And listen, some of them have 3, 4 ministers. Why?
Wow. Akufado. All right. Okay, so 10 ministry make 10 ministers. That's just what it is. Beautiful. Now, what is it about the 10 region? Because currently we have 16 region.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm much more interested in here.
Okay. So we have 16 regions, which doesn't make any kind of sense. Because you see, the kenkey is still one ball of kenkey. So if I say I have 10 plates for the kenkey, and you come and you say, no, Kofi, we have more people, so increase the plates and give them 16 plates. You use the money to buy plates, but you didn't use the money to buy kenkey. I am saying it makes more to sell the 10 plates, just use 1 plate and use the money to buy more kenkey and force it on the 1 plate. You see?
Exactly.
That's
all right.
It's the resources that the people need, not demarcation.
Okay. Okay. All right. I think, Mr. Kofi, your interviews, I think you should invest in much more English aspects so that, I've been following to check the things that are on board, but like, as I said, because we have language barrier, I'm always limited whenever I make most of your videos.
You never really understood any of the things I talked about.
I'm telling you, you understand. And there are a lot of people who, I can show you the chat, a lot of people who go and listen to this, go and listen, because on my platform, even people are surprised for me to have you, because on my platform, people know that officials of our platform, no politician have business with us, because unless you are Pan-African that we want to, you understand. So, but this is Ghana and this is my country. So I have a part to play, and then I just have to do what I have to do. Yeah.
We appreciate you.
You are talking about 2 parliamentarians per region.
Okay, so
yes,
are you ready?
Enlighten us on that. Guys, be preparing your question. After we are done with this, I'll open the boxes. Mr. Kofi Koranteng is here with us. He has so much patience to be with us and answer our question, because he wants to lead us. So he have the time for us. All right, so prepare your questions. You're going to come on board. All right.
With artificial intelligence, even before artificial intelligence, there's something called demographics. Demographics will tell you that in your village, in the Volta region, there are 1,000 one-year-olds, 2,000 2-year-olds, 3,000 3-year-olds, 4,000 4-year-olds, 5,000. We know the ages of pretty much all the people in the village. So if you want to build a nursery, you know how many people the nursery will be for. So if you build 1,000 capacity nursery, it will contain all the people who go to the nursery.
Okay.
Now, you know that the average age or the elderly people in your village, maybe 10 or 15 of them are over 70. Most of them are in their 60s. So if you have to build a daycare for them and do things for them, based on the age, you know what to build for them. You also know that all the teenagers who could work in the factories have left your village and gone to Kumasi and Accra. So when you go and you say 1 district, 1 factory, you are not thinking, because there will be no young people there for the 1 district, 1 factory. They all gone to Accra for jobs. You see?
Yeah.
So the demographic tells you what to build. So what we are going to do is we will use a demographic for every region to build what they need based on their age categories. That's all. So now, the purpose of a regional leader is to represent the president in the region. Make no sense. It's just a waster.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you need to represent the president in the region? To do what? So that I can announce when the president is going to come and visit us. Wow, that's cute. Get rid of that person. We don't need him. We need to save money. Okay.
That's right.
Now, as far as the parliamentarians, we have all these parliamentarians, and what are they doing? They're coming to parliament to represent their constituents, to say that, oh, we need roads, Mr. President, we need bridges, we need schools, we need hospital. Well, what do you have the freaking demographic chart for? You did a census, you know the ages of everybody, and if you've done your integrated national ID and address system, you know as the kids are being born every day, the graph is changing real time. So you know how many more people are coming, you know how many more people are dying. It's all on the graph. So if you want to change anything, don't wait for a parliamentarian to come and tell you I need a bridge. You can even fly a drone and it will tell you that because there's flooding here, you need a bridge. Why do you need a parliamentarian? Make sense? So we will represent every region with 2 parliamentarians, upper region, lower region. That's all we need. We don't need 100 parliamentarians, 50 parliamentarians per region, 30 parliamentarians per region. Waste. Makes no sense.
All right.
And the money that we save from the parliamentarians, V8, bungalow, benefits, bonuses, we'll use it in developing the region.
Okay. You see, sometimes the things on your flyer, when I read it, I always ask this question myself. So it can be possible for these things to be done before it is not been done, and which I mean, it can kind of like amazing, you know.
You can't
If we
believe
can,
it.
if
Yeah.
we can
Listen.
actually save costs this much,
Oh yeah.
then what is going on? So is it just about everybody benefiting from the cake?
Oh yeah.
Then what is going on? So is it just about everybody benefiting? Beautiful. Sorry for that. Now, okay, so your answer actually give answer to the abolishment of the regional ministers. We are done with that. So 100 presidential staffers. Is it possible to
Again,
run the nation with just 100?
Again, with the artificial intelligence, what are they there for? If everybody's doing their work and doing their work effectively, why do you need so many of them? Have you ever seen the president go around all the people like crabs around the president? Everybody who, what are they doing? What are they doing? They're not Secret Service. They're just hanging around. The president goes somewhere, he has 50 SUVs. All the ministers take off when the president is going somewhere to accompany the president to go. Does it make sense? Then it means that we really don't need those people because they have proved to us that they could be ineffective and nothing changes. So why have them? Think about it. They don't do anything anyway except for accompany the president. So why do we need to have them as parliamentarians and ministers? And we don't. That's why we're going to shrink the 275 legislature to 20. Can you imagine?
Okay. All right. You have another one here, which is one building for all ministry. All right. That one we know. I don't think it makes sense on its own, because from your
So when you come in as a president and you want to have a managers meeting every Monday morning, all the heads of the ministries will be there in the boardroom and not tell me they're late because you are fired if you're late.
Wow, that's order. Okay, yeah, Osajefo has even confirmed. I mean, like, at least giving us a clue. You know, Burkina Faso have proven we don't. I mean, I love this. Now, you are talking about no first or business class travel for officials. No first or business class or travel for officials, and no V8 for officials.
Yeah.
These two.
Because first of all, Survivor, 99% of our problems are in Ghana, not abroad.
All right.
I'm being very honest with you. So most of the people who travel abroad, the parliament does not even know they've traveled abroad. They skip town.
Okay.
It's like, you know, when we used to be in secondary school and you leave school without exeat, that's what they do.
Wonderful.
You know? So there's no need for you to, these guys, they travel abroad, they have the most flimsiest excuses that they're going abroad. They go with their girlfriends, they go shopping here and there, they're running around. When they see you, they're dodging. I've seen people around. When I went to Dubai, I saw some ministers and they're like, when they see you in the shopping mall with their girlfriends, they are like this. I'm like, look at them, disgraceful you. You see? So, and if you have to travel, you definitely not going on first class or business class. You go in economy. And if you think that's too low for you, don't go, and you get fired on top. Listen, it's not even something to talk about. It's not even worth our time, man.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere.
You know, what are you going to, you know, there is another money that we are wasting out there, the embassies.
Well, that's why we're cutting. There are 55 embassies now.
Beautiful.
55.
So all the money that we are using to maintain this embassy.
Stupid.
So what are you going to do about it, Mr. Kofi Grantin, if you are given the chance?
Cancel them all. Come home and help us work. 55 of them.
That's all.
We're only going to keep 5.
Okay. Out of the 55, you're going to keep only 5.
Cancel 50.
Okay. So what is the value of this 5?
For strategic reasons, I want to hold off on telling you which 5 they are.
Is that okay?
Because it's a little tricky, and I know why. Maybe when I meet with you one-on-one, I'll tell you. But we're gonna keep 5. We're canceling. Okay, so let me tell you, the purpose of a mission is to develop what we call a trade desk. You know, a long time ago when we didn't have internet, we didn't have artificial intelligence, we didn't have all these technologies. We go into other people's countries to learn what they have done that has elevated the economies. And we could copy the same thing and bring it into our country and do the same thing so we could learn and get the benefits they've gotten. Now with artificial intelligence and all these developments and technologies, we don't need to do that. You can literally just go on the internet and find out how to make carrot cake. You don't need to go and visit your grandmother's best friend in Atebubu and sit and watch her tell you about old time stories for 2 hours before she starts making the carrot cake. You can learn it from the internet, right? So we don't need these trade desks for what they were originally intended to do for different countries. We can literally just do for ourselves now. So why do we have to keep all these embassies? Now, if Wizkid Bahumia says we've gone digital and we really understand digital, then that's more reason why we don't have to keep embassies, because they cost Ghana about $100,000 every month, every embassy, 1 month, $100,000.
We have money. We have money in this country.
Yes. So if we close all these embassies, we could use the money to develop our country. We don't need China to show us how to process rice or show us electronics. Take our people there to learn about the electronics and let them come back and teach the masses of us. That's the smart way of doing it. It saves more money. So that's what we're going to do. It's as simple as that.
Now, this is it. There is one of the most important thing concerning our nation. You know, the safety of our nation, the safety of our people is not being considered by this current administration. This current leadership, whenever something comes on board, they don't consider the effect it's going to have on the people, and they don't consider the safety of their people. So the best thing, the only thing they consider is how much dollar is involved, and then they sign deals. The military bases in our country, we have our police, we have the soldiers, we have our army to protect us. Why do we need the US military base on our soil? For what purpose? And the deals and the SOFA agreement that come with it, I believe you know about it. These guys are not subject to any rules and regulation and law in our country. They are free even more than the citizens of this country. Now, what are you going to do about it? Because we see revolution going on. People are even in Senegal. The guy is saying that he gave a speech the other day. He was telling them that, look, you know, your military base in our country, it poses a threat to our country, number one, and then it take for us to be a sovereignty, it took our sovereignty away. So what are you going to do about that? We are very, very concerned about that because it's practically a threat to us.
Well, we are, for number one, we are non-aligned nation, which means we don't align with any country. We are a sovereign nation, and we have chosen to be independent in our thinking and the way we deal with any other nation. That's on us. This idea that America or any other nation having a base in Ghana is for our benefit, it's not true. It's for their own benefit. It's not for the benefit of Ghana. So I don't want to get into the details for obvious reasons right now, but I could rest assured everyone that we are going to do what's in the best interest of Ghana.
Okay. You're going to do what is in the best interest of Ghana. All right, because this particular US base in our country definitely is not.
It's not helping us in any way.
It's not helping us.
No, it's not. And the embarrassment of seeing Kamala Harris come into Ghana and see our secret servicemen being sniffed by dogs and being pushed to the side and being told not to turn their backs and look. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It means they have absolutely no respect for us, and that should change. And it's because of the weak leadership that we have.
All right. There is, before I open the floor, I have this question also to ask. The people of Ghana, there are a lot of people who are concerned. You know, this is just a concern. We are concerned about the influence of everything in our society, in our children, and ourselves as well. You know, people are concerned about the things that their children go to school to learn. Currently, our school curriculum is not helping us.
Mhm.
We are the people learning about the cycle of the lifespan of mosquitoes. We don't produce mosquito coil. All right. What are you going to do about the education, the curriculum? Are we going to start going with this? But because mosquito is not helping, I'm hearing the cycle of mosquito is not helping me. It has done nothing to me, and we have learned all these things, and then mosquito coil we don't produce. What are you going to do about that?
We're going to start. We're going to start producing mosquito coil. Oh gosh, Survivor, listen. Our education is not relevant. It's not relevant. The purpose of our education is to fix our problems. So we matriculate. Once we graduate, we come out with enough knowledge that we take a look around and see our streets are filthy. We don't have street lights. Our roads are decrepit. Our buildings are falling apart. We don't, and then we fix these things. And also, for our children to come out and not have jobs, because the education we are teaching is not relevant. The curriculums we have are not relevant. A relevant curriculum is to take a look at your problems and use that to design curriculums so that when the people graduate and they come out, they go straight to the problems and fix them. And you use the people to develop, build skyscrapers and build things. If your people are unskilled or misskilled, then your problems, you would have to invite people to come into your country to fix these problems and charge you an arm and a leg for. So what we are going to do that's different is the curriculums are going to be tweaked specifically to the needs of our nation so that we don't end up having 3 million graduates in what we call the unemployment graduate society. It just doesn't make any kind of sense. See? So when anybody graduates, before they even graduate, they're employed by companies and they go into industry and they go to work.
All right. All right. Mr. Griffin, I have last two questions and then the floor will be open. The first one is that you said you are going to finish all unfinished projects.
Without a doubt.
We have another, there is one particular unfinished project. I don't know if you'll be.
Saglame. Saglame.
No, that's not it. The National Cathedral.
Oh, God. No, okay. The National Cathedral is going to be finished. It's just not going to be a national cathedral.
Oh, network. Guys, can you hear me? It's like he froze.
I hate this
system. You froze. Please take it again.
I know. The system flipped over. I went from MTN to Vodafone. You see, this thing is.
So take it again. Take it again.
So I'm saying that we are going to, okay, everybody listen to me. Kofi Kranting will finish the National Cathedral. It's just not going to be a national cathedral. It's going to be a hub for the graduates to come. It's going to be like a Silicon Valley in the middle of Accra, where graduates will go there and thrust ideas on how to elevate Ghana into a whole different stratosphere of thinking.
That's better. That's better. Now,
We're gonna
last
have
question.
the most sophisticated computers, amphitheaters. It's going to have simulation theaters for them to explore the world from 4D cameras. Like when I went to China, I went into it's listen, it's scary. It's scary. You're walking and you are walking in the world of the future, and you are walking in it. It's mind-boggling. I'm serious. It's all a simulation. It's incredible. You walking in the future. You could touch things, and the things are in the movie, and you are in it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So those are the things we're gonna have in the cathedral building.
So the cathedral, the building is going to be completed, but it's not going to be the cathedral.
No,
it is going to be
like
something more beneficial.
Major changes to the interior design and exterior design, but it's definitely not going to be a cathedral. It's over. Listen, when they started this thing, I'm one of the people who said they are never going to be able to complete this thing. I said it.
All right, Mr. Kofi Koranten, the last question is the influence aspect. People are concerned about the LGBTQ community. I myself am concerned because our children are going to be influenced negatively or positively by whatever we accept into our society. What are you going to do about the LGBTQ community?
Okay, Kofi Koranten is against LGBTQ. We are not going to infiltrate our system with LGBTQ. And let me tell you, the most dangerous thing about LGBTQ is what we are doing now, entertaining a conversation about it. Because the more we entertain a conversation about it, the more we normalize its acceptance. And that's the strategy of the West. So we just don't talk about it. You see, I'm not for it. The people of Ghana are not for it. And we're not going to entertain it, and end of story. That's all.
Respect. Beautiful people. It's lovely. It's lovely, you know. Thank you, Mr. Kofi Koranten, for answering all the questions boot to boot. Yes. Anonymous, are you there? It's time for us to have people. Please, when you come on board, the moment you come on board, submit your question smoothly. You just
let me get some water. Go ahead.
All right, it's a question time, please. Don't
question
come
time,
and
question time.
Yeah, don't come and preach, please. Draft your question. Come on board. Don't come and talk about the problems just come on board. Ask the question directly. Let him answer. All right. Don't come and start preaching from the grassroots. I mean, you have this problem. Just go straight to your question, and let's have. So because you are not going to be the only person, we are going to have multiple people on board. So short. Under 1 minute, you are done. You drop your question and then you go. Mr. Kofi Koranten will drop it for you. Those of you who don't have much followers and you want your question to be on board, put it in the comment section and I'm going to read it out for Mr. Kofi Koranten for him to pick it up. All right. Anonymous, if you are listening to me, open your mic. Anonymous. All right. Anonymous, I think. All right, he's on board.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Respect.
Please, pick them. Pick them.
All
My
right.
network is not good, so pick them. My network is not good.
All right. Beautiful. Mr. George, you are on board, eh? Please, straight question in the comment section. If you know you can't come on board, just put the question there. I'll read it out. Trust me on that. You know me already. I'm here for you.
All right,
Mr. George. Thank you for joining. It's lovely.
Yeah, thank you so much. I've listened to all that Mr. Kofi has said. My question is concerning the issue
Is it me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Sure.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. As a president, what is your position
Mhm.
about the Western Togoland issue?
My position is the people of the Togoland feel that they've been deprived of a lot of things. My position as a president is to make sure that there is fair and equitable distribution of everything for everybody who is Ghanaian. Because you see, the moment people feel cheated or people feel that their needs have been ignored, that's when you have the differences and people feel like maybe perhaps they don't belong and they need demarcations and they need to separate and all those complications come about. And I'll prove to you, when you go to America or you go to Singapore, you go to Japan or you go to any of these countries, there are, and even, okay, I'm not even gonna use the traditional Germans or Filipinos, or when you go to China, the Chinese, there are so many dynasties in China and so many different dialects of China, but nobody feels that I need to fight and separate myself from China or from this province or from this, because there is an equitable distribution of everything. Everybody has a right to get what they want. And as a president, my job is to make sure that everybody has equal access to opportunity. They have schools, they have hospitals, they have jobs, they have lifestyle, they have agriculture, they take care of their sons and daughters. And when you do that as a president, everybody feels content and happy and worth it. You see, it's only when a group of people think and feel and see that they're deprived of something somebody else is getting that there is that confusion. So, and that's also what extends to the tribalism, the divisions in the north, and the fights. It's all about how people feel about the inequitable distribution of wealth. So my key concern is bringing people together, listen to them, and also putting them in charge of their own destinies, so that they know and they understand that they haven't been cheated of anything, and really going down to their level and letting them know that you care about them. Once you care about them, you could be a stranger and they will work with you. So that's my commitment to the people.
All right, thank you. However, do I have to ask more or?
You can add another one. Somebody will come on board. Ask this, the last one, and then somebody will come on board.
Oh, all right. I also want to know if Mr. Kofi is aware that Ghana as a country is a union nation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and your question, yes, I'm aware.
Yes. All right. Since it's a union country, why are we not seeing the details of the union? Because every union is supposed to be governed by an agreement.
Well, we would have to, that would have to be addressed in the Constitution. The Constitution, I don't think I have to check. I'll be very honest with you. I can't say that I've read that in the Constitution, but I'll have to check with a specialist and find out to see how that question goes. But I would reach back to you. I've never been asked that question. I'll be very honest with you. Why
right,
that agreement is not current? But I'll
all right.
find
Thank you so much. Thank you
I'll
so much.
find it
Thanks
out
for
and
honesty.
I'll get that to you.
All right,
All right.
Mr. Kofi, thank you for that question. Mr. George, thank you for the question. Kana,
Hello, yeah,
respect, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm good. And you?
Great, good. Kofi Kurante is listening.
Yeah, I heard a lot of what Mr. Kofi Kurante said, but I have just two questions for him. My first question is he considering alliance with the other party? That's my first question. Is he considering alliance with the other parties? And secondly, I know under the constitution,
Other individual independent parties.
Yeah. Not NPP and NDC. No, I'm talking about other individual parties. Is he considering alliance with those parties? And my second question is, I know under the fundamental of human rights, according to the Constitution of Ghana, everybody has the right to freedom of worship. You understand what I mean? So when he comes to power, is he going to draft some laws, to limit religion itself, both because I know there are people who can't even read, an illiterate who is a pastor. So how can somebody like an illiterate be a pastor in Ghana? So is he going to draft a law to be able to limit religion, because every corner in Ghana is religion, mosque, church, everywhere. So that is my two questions I have for him. Thank you very much.
All right. So concerning an alliance, yes, I would love an alliance, but I would love an alliance of the right minds and right people, because the NDC and the MPP have elevated their game to a whole different level. So they have themselves created political parties, small political parties, and small independent candidates. They've paid a lot of money to these people and said, be our appendages and go and work in our for us. But then go in and present yourself as an independent or as a small political party looking to join with other political parties like Kofi Kurante, so that when they pick you up to go into an alliance with them, your job is to disintegrate that union. That's what they're doing. So the reason why I'm not joining with anyone yet is because of that, because the people that I went in with the view of joining with them, I have found them to be not truthful. They've been appendages, and that's why I don't want to work with them. So, but if I were to find someone who is clean and who would do the threesome, the mega threesome, change the constitution, institute, eradicate corruption, and institute a national development plan, I'll be more than willing to join hands with them. Number two is in terms of religion, we are going to crack down on religion. Okay, and the way we're going to crack down on religion is this. There are a lot of good people. Religion is needed in our society, but it has to be regulated religion. We cannot have everybody going into religions. Most people go to rip people off, to take advantage of people, set religion up as a business, use that to siphon money, launder money, and all those things. So we're going to crack down on religion, and we're going to come down with some serious rules and regulations so that only the right people are in religion for the right reasons to help our citizens, because people really need that type of closure and understanding and direction and inspiration in life. And religion is what does it for them. So we have to allow them that right, but we have to just make sure it's not abused. And then we're also going to have what we call the responsibility levy, religious responsibility levy, where people, religious bodies will pay so that we can use the money in their communities that they establish to help the youth to get jobs and training and we call tools of the trade to get them into the market to do something for themselves. So it would be, you know, a benefit to benefit arrangement with religion and the societies that are established in. We're not going to allow for churches and mosques to be established everywhere or anywhere. It's going to be in regulated areas where residents are not, so that people can sleep and have their peace. So it's going to be regulated. It's not just going to be anything anyhow. No, it's not. And it's going to be people who have the correct license to minister or to perform the rites of the expectation of these religious bodies only. So that's what.
All right. All right. Thank you so much for that. All right. Humble Lion, open your mic. Open your mic, Humble Lion. If you are with me, Humble Lion, open your mic. All right. Africa United Concern, right? Beautiful. Okay, if Humble Lion is not listening, then Africa United Concern, you are welcome.
All right, thank you so much for this opportunity.
All right. Now, you are free to ask your question.
Do you want me to ask a question?
Yes, it's question time.
Or I just came here and I was not here for a long time. I don't know why he started.
Okay, so
I met him before, and I know he can do the job. So I would like other people to be asking the question.
Oh, who removed him? I think the moderator removed him. All right, I don't know. Is it your network? You can come back. Humble Lion. Humble Lion, if you're on board, come. All right, let me pick another person to get the job done. Yeah, Links DH.
Yo, bro.
All right.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm good. How about you too?
Respect. So please go straight to your question.
I really do not have questions for him because I see him to be too good for questions, and all his ideologies, whatever I think he planned on doing, are perfect. I just pray for him, and I wish him good luck, and I wish I could also do more to help him, because I think a few days ago I spoke to somebody about him, wanting to also get closer to see what I could also do to help, because myself, I've been home. I've been jobless for almost a year now, and the economy is bad. Everything is bad. We are getting into a ditch, and we really need somebody to save us.
Thank you. This is that's just your concern. All right. Thank you so much. Please, it is question time. I need question. I said, I love all your concern. You know, it is amazing. I know you love Mr. Kofi Koranteng. I mean, you want to congratulate, but yeah, I want somebody to ask him question. You understand? If I pick you, please ask question. Once you send the request, it means you are going to ask question. All right. We don't want long talk. I mean, Kofi Koranteng, we love question. Thank you. Africa United, go straight to the question for me. Go straight to the question for me, and then Kofi Asante will come on board. Kofi Asante.
Yeah, I'm here.
Respect. Please go straight to your question.
So my question, it will be a straight one. I want to know why he has not read the Constitution.
He has not read the.
You have. because there was a question and you said you in your statement, I didn't start from beginning, but you said you're going to cancel the constitution. You're going to make a new one. For me, I have read it and I thought the people that made it, there's a lot of information there that everyone needs to know before they become president. So through that, you can work your way up to maybe modify it because it's been now about, let's say, 30 years since it was drafted. So mine was on that note that if you have not read it, I wouldn't trust that I'll vote for you as an individual.
So your question is, has he read the constitution? That's your question.
Yeah. Yes, that's the first one. Yes.
I have read it.
Okay, please, the second one, quick one, so that we move. All
So
right.
the second one is about it was a full from the same question, but mine is also about the alliance. So I know how difficult it is to break through from the two political parties. So I was just asking again, if you have found any, because to gain power you need to get it through parliament, and so if you are able to go through getting individuals to represent certain parliamentary seats so that they can gain power with you to go with you instead of you going alone. If you have that strategy, that could help. So at least you have like members of parliament from your side or who have the same ideas with you to go
So
in.
what's your question?
My question is, does he have such strategy? Because I know how difficult it is for an individual to go through to get the highest percentage to win
All right.
the seats.
All right, Mr. Kofi Granted, that's up to you.
All right.
Yeah.
So when you say I know how it is, have you run for president before?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So when you say it's not, the presidency is an independent position. The presidency does not mingle or is not supposed to mingle with the legislature or the judiciary. Okay, so a president does not need to have a majority or a minority in parliament for him to be effective or for her to be effective. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could come into parliament. The only reason why they have made it seem like you need parliamentarians before you could govern is because they have agendas that are party bound and not nation bound.
All
I
right.
am going to be a nation bound president. I don't need, matter of fact, the way we should be running parliament is to have a legislature that is neither majority or minority of the president so that they can hold the president accountable. Think
All
about
right.
it.
That I understand.
All right, beautiful. Okay, we'll go straight to Survivor.
Okay.
Survivor,
Yeah.
yeah, open your mic and speak to us, eh?
Okay. Is it Mr. Kranti, right?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. Independent presidential candidate. I've been voting for those two major political parties in Ghana, and I'm in the state right now. I come home every year, and I'm trying to settle back home, but things are not going well. So I spent like 6 months in Ghana. I have to come back because I realized that there are certain things. If you don't have money,
Please, can you go straight to your question so that we cut time?
yeah. I'm heading to my
Just ask the question direct. You understand? Don't add a whole. Yeah, just go hit it on the dot for us. All right.
My question is, what are you going to do for the poor? For the poor, the low-income family in Africa, in Ghana, there's nothing like low income. There's nothing like that. So my question is, every human being need what is called basic health care. What are your plans? Because health is wealth. If you have all the money and you don't have health, you are nothing. So me, I'm planning to vote skirt and blouse. The MP for my area, I'll give him B. I won't give him A. I will give him B+. So either I vote for the parliamentary candidate, go back home. Presidential, I'm not voting for nobody. So if you can tell me what you're going to do for the poor in terms of healthcare, you earn my vote. Thank you.
All right. So just like you said, there are a lot of people in Ghana who are below the poverty line who, number one, like they have in America, they have something called the WIC. WIC is Women, Infant, Children. We're gonna have a program that takes care of the women, the infants, the children, the disabled, the elderly, and the deranged. These are all gonna come under one umbrella. When your income falls below a certain threshold, you are going to be taken care of all around. You're going to get food stamps, and medical and housing. All of those are going to be taken care of. And that's why I run through the 10 things when I talk about housing first, then healthcare, then employment, then education, transportation, telecommunication, market, security, recreation, and a functional central business district. These are things that at every level we're going to provide for citizens. If you are above the threshold, yes, we are going to require some commitment from you. If you are below the threshold, the system will take care of you.
All right. All right. That's great. Somebody is talking about we can hear, mute yourself. But you can hear Mr. Kofi now. You can hear him now, right? I think everything is okay now. Okay, beautiful. Efosena, please come on board for me. Efosena, if you are listening to me, please quickly come on board for me. Efosena, okay, I need to drop Efosena for the meantime. After that, he will come on board. All right, Mr. Sloko. Brother Sloko, please unmute yourself for me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Sloko, you're on board.
Oh, okay. How are you guys doing? Mr.
We are
Kofi,
doing great.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, bro. Our incoming president. You've already earned my vote anyway.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, in advance. I was already looking for an alternative, and I found one. Thank God.
Thank you.
My question is, how are you going to deal with these predators that the only thing they understand is either to kill or be killed? You know what I mean? I'm talking about the West. How are you going to counter them?
If you don't take any money from them, you didn't make a deal with the devil. You see, the problem is when we make these deals with the devil that our people don't know, we tend to think that it's almost like, you know, I mean, I lived in New York in the 80s when drugs was like, you know, was the thing. And I lived in South Bronx. I lived in Bed-Stuy, where Biggie was killed. I lived in some pretty bad places. So I saw the evolution. Now, the rule is, if you don't play with fire, you don't.
Are we having
burn.
network issue?
No, I can hear you.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so if you don't play with fire, you don't get
Guys,
burned.
can you hear me?
Yeah, but we've already played with that fire.
Yeah, but-
taken a lot of money from them. So what are you going to do next? I mean, like, what are you going to do to? All right, okay.
What's that?
No, okay. So, Survivor, we can hear him. We can hear him. Survivor, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. Very clear.
Survivor seems to be having a problem.
Yes, Survivor is having
Yeah,
a problem.
I think I'm back now.
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
All right.
Survivor, you back?
Yes, he's back.
Yes, sir.
So what I'm saying to you is this: the bad deals that the previous governments have made goes with them. We come in, we start a new regime. The way you get yourself in trouble is if you go and get money from them as they are willing to give you now for your election. And that's why we're telling this youth, we're telling all of you not to follow, not to support the people who have taken monies from sources they are not able to prove. That's the beginning of problems. If the youth of Ghana support Kofi Koranteng to be president, who is going to come and tell me that they're going to take our concessions? You can't tell me that. You see? But if you take a kilo of my cocaine and you promise to pay me $100,000 and you don't pay me, then I could send my boys to come and kill you and kill your family. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't have anything to do with your cocaine. You lost your cocaine. Well, go find it. I don't have anything to do with it. So me and you may not like me, but you cannot come after me. You can't tell me how I feed my people, because I don't come to you for food. I don't come to you for pharmaceuticals. I don't come to you for construction. I don't come to you for anything. When I come to you and I beg you for things because you gave me money, then you can control me. And plus, another thing. And that's the reason why we need to look at joining with the Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, the BRICS. Why? Is because you get protection from the BRICS, because the whole world is de-dollarizing. Now, instead of us keeping our gold reserves so that we are relevant to the BRICS, your brother Bawumia is giving it away for oil when we're already sitting on the oil. And that's why this guy is not fit to be president. They need to understand the new world order when it comes to money and power. These guys, they just living the day. And this should be part of how you decide who your next leader will be.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Don't be too wise?
Don't be wise and see. Don't be wise and see.
Come down. Come down. You're on board.
Yeah. Good evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are, depending on your time zone. How are you, Mr. Kofi Koranteng?
Yes, sir, my brother. I am well, my brother.
Good. I think this is the first time ever I am giving attention to you on social media. I've got 10 questions, and someone said it's too much. But I said it is necessary. It's very important for me to ask you these questions.
10?
Yeah, 10 questions, yes.
Okay, so this is as the first one, all right? Okay. We'll be doing it like as the first one.
Okay. Okay, my first question is that, what is your vision for the country and how do you plan to achieve it?
Okay, the vision for the country is to make Ghana an economic powerhouse where the youth are meeting their aspirations because we handed them the baton. We are a responsible nation. Rules and regulations work because that's what's going to attract FDIs to come into the country. The whole world wants the organic produce of Ghana. Ghana is we are respected worldwide because of our quality products. We take care of ourselves. We've attained food security. We do everything for ourselves. That's the vision that I have for Ghana. Okay.
Okay.
The way we're going to accomplish it is, number one, we're going to invest $10 billion into agriculture for the next 10 years. Every year, 10 billion for the next 10 years. And then we're going to take the output from agriculture and we're going to feed it to our agro-based industries, add value to the highest level, export it, get foreign exchange reserves, and use that foreign exchange reserves to expand our horizontal integrations into more industry. Then we go to the next level of industry, which is our domestic market. Exhaust that, add value so that we don't have to buy anything we use. Everything we use for ourselves, we make. That means our city stays in our country, it gains value, okay? And then we go to the next level. Absorb all the unemployment on the street, go to the next level, which is creating motherboards, computer chips, electronics, and then guess what? Increase our competencies and complexities so huge incomes pour into the country, and then we go into the first world. That's what we're going to do it, and we're going to do it by addressing the 10 things that I talk about: health, housing, healthcare, employment, education, telecommunication, transportation, security, recreation, markets, and functional CBD. That's how we're going to do it.
All right, that's great. TNT, we have few minutes to go, so let's do it quick. TNT.
Okay.
Yeah, you're on board. Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. We can hear you properly.
Hello, Mr. President.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm not from Ghana, but I really admire what you're doing.
Thank you.
And I wanted to emulate your brother, Kwame Nkrumah.
Yes, sir.
And I respect Kwame Nkrumah for what he did for Africa and what we are still practicing. I'm Pan-African as well.
Excellent.
And I love Ghana. So what's your take on one?
Hit the question on board for us.
Okay, that's a question of the presidency because it's the president.
What's happening to my network?
Incoming president.
Yeah, what's the question again? You said, what's my what?
What's your take on one president for Africa?
Well, we are ways from there. I think it's a great idea. You see, what we need to focus on before we even get there is we need the individual modules of the entire system to run at full throttle. If you see, because you see, the strength of Africa would be measured from the weakest nation of Africa. So if we have a weak nation in Africa, that unity of strength for global dominance, it's not going to happen. How global dominance will happen is for every nation in Africa to attain a minimum standard of excellence. Once we have done that, then we could talk about having one leader for the whole of Africa. But before that, we need for everybody to recline to their corners and start using a principle of guidance that will create excellence in all our economies.
All right. I think that answers the question.
Thank you. Thank you.
Guys, we have a few minutes to go. So quick one. I have Nelson here. Africa United Concern, is your question on board? If you are ready to, okay. My big boss is on board. All right, Nelson, Kobe.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Kranti.
Yes, sir.
All right.
My question is, we have seen a lot of presidency which have passed, and when they come, everybody come with his own things. Now, if you are being elected as a president now, what some of the things they are doing, are you going to continue or you abandon them?
Okay, it depends. I'm certainly not going to continue the corruption, so that you cannot.
No, in terms of in terms of corruption, in terms of infrastructure or but for example, maybe they are building some hospital or some things they are doing. Like how we have seen some, they have abandoned some of the things and they are doing their own different things. Are you also going to do your?
So let me just tell you. So the order of way things are going to work is this: we need to first suspend all non-essential projects. We need to suspend it because you see, for everything we put money to, we have to be able to generate the income and the financing internally. You see, so if, let's just say Mahama started building E-blocks, when we come, we're not going to say, oh, listen, we want to complete all E-blocks because, Kofi, you said you're going to complete all projects. Yes, we want to complete all projects, but as a matter of urgency, we're not going to put money into E-blocks yet, because E-blocks is not going to generate income to fund itself. It's a social endeavor that is good for the people, but we need to justify where the income is coming from. We as a government are not going to spend money because it's cute to spend money. We're not going to spend money because we can afford the money. We're going to spend money because the spending of it can be justified. Difference of consciousness. So we will invest into projects that is going to give us money because we have to pay for where the money came from. It's not going to be loans, but even if it's internally generated, we have to find a means to put back that money where it came from. So we will focus on projects that will generate income, except for things like hospitals or surgical blocks and those things. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. So, there's gonna be what we call a priority in terms of how we spend money. But the most important thing is, for everything we do, we need to create the income for it internally in Ghana. We're not gonna borrow to do it. And that's what's gonna judge where we put the money.
Great. Mr. Kofi, before Mr. Sadefo or Rich, whoever will come on board, I have this question. You see, everything you are saying is beautiful. It's a nice thing. It has always been like this for us. You know, when people want us, I mean, we want to lead you. They talk to us. Sometimes it almost feel like you are proposing to us. And then we fall in love. You understand? This is it. Now, do you have any? I know it's a fact that you need to have the power to do things, but somehow, anyhow, as individual who have these visions and things, you might have some impact somewhere and whatever. Do you have any track record to show us of all these things you are talking about? Do you have anything to show us that? I mean, when you look at this, it tells you that Kofi Koranteng can do this. What's going on? I think he's switching. From one network to another. All right. So do you have anything to point to us that, okay, all right, look at this one. This is my handwriting, and this should tell you that I'll be able to,
So the projects and this is what I started with when I began this presentation. I gave you a list of the things I'd gotten involved in and I'd done. And that's why I did that from the beginning. So that everybody who had a question like this, know that I had actually done some things in Ghana for Ghana before here. So
yeah, you see, somebody came late. I intentionally asked that question. Somebody came late. So I asked the question so that you clarify that you have already spoken about it. All right, Mr. Sadefo, please come on board for me.
All right, good evening, everybody.
Respect, man.
Mr. Kofi Koranteng, I'm going to go straight to my question. I think everybody is asking you how you are going to fix the country for us, but I want to find out a little bit about yourself. My question is, what broke the camel's back for you? What inspired you to pursue the presidency? And how do you envision at the end of your term if you are elected? And also, what personal experiences shaped your vision for this country?
Oh, that's a nice one. Well, what the final stick for me was the needless suffering. That was the final stick for me. What inspired me was what I did last year and the year before last was I traveled around the world on a very expensive excursion to see the best of the world, because I am moved by excellence. I am very worried about the wallowing of our leaders in the spectrum of misery. I want us to embark on a journey into the possibilities of excellence. So I traveled the world in search of excellence, and I found it. I went to UAE, I went to Qatar, I went to Japan. I've seen, I went to Singapore, to China. I saw the best places in the world in search of excellence. And that's what drafted this vision that I have for Ghana. When I take a look at what Ghana has and what it doesn't have, which is mainly in leadership. And I knew that it was very simple to get to that level of excellence if you have the right leadership.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. And my next question swiftly. If you could accomplish one major initiative during your presidency that would define your legacy, what would it be and why? How would you ensure long-term success beyond your term of office?
To change the perspective of decisive leadership. Leadership is everything. That's all we're lacking. And my legacy would be leadership. Leadership. We change leadership, we get everything. It comes with everything. We don't fight for leadership. Ultimately, we lose everything.
How do you ensure that this lasts after your term in office?
By making sure that the biggest responsibility of a leader is to groom leaders at level 5. So I am grooming them now, and they become my replacement. You see, when you were a great leader, you were not scared of grooming people to be better than you. I want people who around me to be better than me. I want to be the worst of the people around me, so that I can make sure that the people who come after me are going to be better than me, are going to be beyond level 5. So that's what I surround myself with.
Fantastic.
All right.
As
Yes,
a
sir.
household member of this platform,
All right.
can I chip in one last Jira for him so that we can? move
Oh,
on?
okay, all right. Then let me leave you. I was coming.
Okay, then drop that on board. Drop that on board so that we move on.
As you know, the advancement of technology, which you've spoken about AI quite a bit, and also our media shapes the narratives of what goes on in the country. We do know that the Ghanaian media at the moment are very scared of holding talking to power. They will not ask the president what's going on, and yet they'll come and sit on social media and do the whole loudmouth things. How would you handle situations where the media and public opinion are heavily critical on your policies and decisions? Do you believe it's crucial of the country's future? And how would you balance public sentiment and making tough decisions at the same time?
I'll be honest to the people. And that's why we're having this engagement. The best thing is to bring the people you are a steward to into the eye of your mind so that they can see what you're thinking. If they know that you are making decisions in their favor, they understand you and they come along with you. The most important thing is to be honest. I'm human. So when the when the going gets tough, I let them know the going is tough. You know, so long as I'm honest and I'm full disclosure with them, they will come along with me. I know that for a fact because I've been like that in many circles in my leadership career.
How about those who will tarnish your image? The media that tarnishes your image all the time.
You never worry about that because that never becomes your focus. The people who tarnish your image are never your concern. If you focus on them, then their objective gets bigger. When you don't focus on them, then they don't exist in your mind and they cannot be a distraction.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. Rick Money, is it Rick?
Oh, can I? Survivor. Can I?
Yeah,
oh,
Survivor.
Okay.
Who is
So
talking now?
yeah, let Rich have been on board. So let him ask, and then Mr. Sloko will come in, and then we move to another person.
All right, thank you. Kofi, you said
TNT, you have already spoken, right?
Yes, I am.
All right. Let me drop you.
Yeah, okay.
All right, good evening to everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, you said we should call you Kofi, so I'm going to call you Kofi. Yeah. You see, Ghana, we've got a big problem. It's not only Ghana, in the whole Africa, we've got a big problem with visa issue. When you want to travel to UK, US, Canada, anywhere in the world, like when they refuse your visa, they don't refund your money back. That's one question. I have two questions. And then in the short run, what are you going to do to curtail the Galamsey and also protect the lands of Boboasi and Takwa lands? Because it's the cyanide is overwhelming. It's very dangerous. Thank you.
All right. So as far as the visa is concerned, the only reason why they push us around because they have zero respect for our leaders. What respect can you possibly give a bunch of people who don't produce anything, who don't get their people what they want, who don't serve their people, whose streets are filled with filth, their gutters are dirty, mosquitoes are killing them through malaria, they don't have any synthetic pharmaceutical for their people, their roads are decrepit, they don't produce any cars, everything from toilet roll to toothpicks they order, including cassava and corn. You have respect for such people? Of course you won't give them visas. They don't deserve visas.
Yeah, my problem is after they get refused, their money is supposed to be refunded, right? But here is the case that I see this as an extortion.
Well, first of all, nobody asked you to go. Nobody asked you to go and apply for a visa. Okay, I think the visa fees are exorbitant. I don't think the visa fees are worth the visas. I really don't think they're worth the visas. You see, but just like everything else costs more in Ghana because our leaders have refused to force us to be productive, we don't produce anything. The only way we're going to be able to reverse that if less people are going to Europe, America. The standard of living in America is expensive. So the American embassy can make a case that we are paying our counselors in Ghana the same fees we are paying our counselors in America.
All right, I asked two questions. You left the Galamsey cyanide.
Okay, Galamsey side.
As far as the Galamsey is concerned, the ministers and the leaders are the ones whose people are digging and mutilating our land. So, like I said,
Mr. Kofi, please, I'm talking about the cyanide. The
Yeah,
cyanide
but
polluting the environment.
if you don't do galamsey, how do you come about cyanide? Have you seen land with that cyanide tested without galamsey?
Okay.
Yes, you
All
can
right.
tell me people are going around pouring cyanide on our land. I don't know that. The only way you have cyanide is because people engage in galamsey. But what
All
I'm
right.
telling you is if you want to stop the cyanide going into our lands, then you have to have a zero tolerance to galamsey. So my policy is if you found galamsey digging up the land that you're not supposed to, you get killed. Period.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
Because
All right.
the flip side of that is you're going to give the youth jobs to do and tell them, don't go dig up any land with any cyanide. We catch you, that's end of your life.
Yeah. Nice.
All right. All right.
Nice one.
Respect. Respect. Mr. Dr. Sloko, please and make your quick one for me so that Dr. Mal will come on board.
Oh, okay. So, Mr. Kofi, my question is, what are your top 3 priorities if elected president?
Change the constitution, eradicate corruption, listen to the national government.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right. Beautiful. Dr. Mal, is it Dr. Mal of Dr. Mal?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right.
Oh,
All right. You're on board.
Right. Anytime Mr. Kofi comes, I like to engage him. So, oh, he's off.
No, I'm not
think
off.
he's got
I'm
it.
here. I'm here.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. So I like to engage you because I reckon you got some wonderful sound policies. Now, just I would like to ask you 2 questions, if I may. One is just a social question, so you can choose to really answer it or not, and one is more for a political question. So the social question is, what inspires you? What generally inspires you, and what drives you to this end? And the second question is, have you considered the right for equal right for law? Let's say an legal aid, whereas someone came on the power and they do free education. So will you consider acting something about legal aid, free legal aid, so people can really take cases to court without their own costs? Because then it will really eradicate law and order in the system. So these are the 2 questions that I wanted to ask, if I may.
All right. So simple questions. So what drives me is excellence. Okay. I like to see excellence at every level, and I think we deserve it. And also, if I travel around the world and I see how Black people are treated, and the levels that Black people have reclined to, it makes me sad. Because listen, I'll give you an example. I was in Dubai Mall. I'm going around Dubai Mall, and every Black person I saw in the store was sitting there like this. I have nowhere to go. I am the gorilla on the tallest tree, but I've been chained and I have nowhere to go. I don't have a life of my own. My leaders have made bad decisions, and that's why I'm here. I wish I could be somewhere else with my people, enjoying my life. But for now, I have to be here anyway. That's what I was seeing in all their faces. I kid you not. And I went around and I took a look. And if you've been to Dubai Mall, you could be there a whole day and you would not have seen half of it, right? And it's sad. And when I go to the malls around the world and I see Black people, there's always a story that they're telling. Save me. take me home to my people. If they are laughing, you could see behind the smile that they're not happy. You see, and it saddens me because I am them, they are me. Where did we go wrong? There is not one Black nation of perfection in the world. Tell me one Black nation of perfection. What is it? I was having a conversation with somebody, was it today or yesterday? And they were telling me, oh, yesterday I was at a chop bar yesterday in the mountains, eating some good palm nut soup. And the guy I sat down with was telling me, oh crap, I have to send him something. The guy I was eating next to was telling me, see, from how you're speaking, this is how I know that Black people are inferior. And that was like putting a dagger in my heart, because if you tell me all these things and it's reason that our leaders, I don't know why our leaders have neglected us, but have left us, you were just confirming to me that we are inferior. And I was really supposed to talk to him for him to get the opposite reaction, but he got I wouldn't say wrong reaction, but of course, he's disgusted with the facts that I was giving him. So that's what he said. So the drive for excellence, we want to build the first Black nation on planet Earth that is of excellence. I want to see it before I die. I really want to see it. I want all Black people from all nations around the world to converge for the experience of excellence.
Great.
The second question is legal aid. You don't even sign up for it. It's going to be given. So that don't even ask for it. It's there for your taking.
Okay, so beautiful. I hope everybody can hear me. I'm not mute. Okay, great. Nana Ose, please come on board for me. Nana.
Yeah,
Nana
hello.
Ose.
Can you hear
Yes,
me
sir.
now?
Come on board for me.
Oh, good. Good evening to you. Good evening, good morning, wherever you find yourself, to your lovely listeners and viewers. And then good evening to my big brother, Kofi. I've been listening to you and then all your plans that you have. And then as Survivor just said, we should try and make our questions as quickly as possible. I'm an educationist. I've been in the teaching industry in Ghana for more than a decade, and I moved to the UK to do freelance. My concern has to do with most of the time when people in Ghana travel into the UK or into US and all that, most of our certificates all that are valid, or you have to be make you another top up or something like that.
There's an echo.
All right, is it okay now? Can I continue, please?
It's okay.
All right, so I just want to find out what is your educational policy, bearing in mind our certificate being able to also, let's say, for want of a better word, rub shoulders with international educational institutions where we don't have to do other top-ups and all that. Because in the UK here, before you can even come and do your first degree, you need to do either you do a proficient, which is an IELTS or something, which is not integrated into our courses or into our programs back in Ghana. And it's been years, okay? So I'm looking at how best, and it's also been a traditional thing. The educational curriculum, to me, is archaic. And in this era, if we are still using these archaic and old models, how do we move forward and rub shoulders with people who are now using AI to study? Secondly, I would also want to know what your plan about our constitution, because to me, I think these two key areas is one of the things that is pulling us down as a country. Okay, you are going to face challenges. However, what is your one significant constitutional change that you can do? What I find in the constitution is that we have so many powers vested into the president, and it is a big problem. It is causing lots of issues in our public institutions, in our public sector. So what one thing that against all odds you're going to change in the constitution? Thank you very much.
All right, so second question first, and thanks for answering the second question for me. So thank you very much. It's exactly that. We're going to strip the presidency of the powers because there's just too many powers. So you answered that. And number two, the first question is this idea of sort of we need to upgrade our education so that when maybe we go abroad, we're able to rub shoulders with them. The elevation of our education is not to rub shoulders with anyone. The elevation of our education and to change our curriculums is to elevate us in us, to perfect us, for us, by us, in our environment, to master our environment, not to go into somebody else's environment and be the biggest gorilla there. No, we want to be it in our jurisdictions here. We want to be functional in Ghana and in Africa. So curriculums will change so that Ghanaians could see value in ourselves in Ghana, not so that it could be accepted in the rest of the world. So I just want to just make that clarification that the reason why we are going to change AI, they could have AI, but we could have our AI too. Because you see, it has to be functional and relevant to us as a people. They don't eat gari, we do. They don't eat fufu, we do. We don't do their krantia and the light soup and their benkwa and all that, we do. So our culture is different. So we are going to build the best square plugs for our square holes, not square plugs for their round holes. Different consciousness. Next question.
So can I continue with?
All right.
my-
No. Somebody will come in. Capital.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, Capital,
Good
come on
evening.
board for me.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, I'm black because I live in a country called Ghana. Thank you.
We'll all soon be bright. Good evening, brothers, and
Good evening.
good evening, Mr. Kofi the Patriot for the future of Africans.
Thank you.
You see, I love the passion. I love it's all beautiful. This is how we expect our leaders to be brilliant. So when they sit on those tables called G10, G50, G100, they'll be sure that they go for shopping and bring something back home that will all smile. It's good. But you will appreciate that. You will agree with me. No, before I say that, I'm of the type who believe in the school of thought that leaders are born, they're not made. And having said that, I also believe that diplomacy has brought us into this point where for a very long time, diplomatically, we've accepted all of the nonsense that have brought us here. And you will agree with me that on this part of the continent, leaders that have made the difference recently are those who kick against the odds of diplomacy and the rest. See, I am perplexed sometimes when Africans themselves see evolving leaders and they ask, what have you done? What is your track record to bring that you want to take us to where you're talking about? And I quickly point at them that I have not seen any track record of Captain Ibrahim Touare. I didn't see anyone. But clearly, his successes are being recorded by those who like to jot down track records.
Mm.
He had nothing, but he came with the mindset of a leader that is born. He follows his vision because it's embedded in him.
Please, can you ask the question direct so that we don't exhaust time?
Yeah,
We are about to
it's a
end
very
the
simple
program. So.
Yeah, it's a very simple question.
Yeah, so hit it to the course straight.
So, Mr. Kofi, you have brilliant. You make all of us happy that there's future in Africa. But you agree with me that you will stand some very visible opposition from within and from outside. If you understand this,
Yeah, I do.
how do you tackle this? Because they will come. Your answer depends if I will believe you or not.
Okay, so like I've said several times, the level of dependency and the level of the assault will depend on how you allow yourself to be controlled. If in the beginning you don't go to them for favors, for money, because you are desperate and you want to win an election, and also to educate the electorate like you so that you don't put pressure. I mean, to put pressure on me would not change anything, but what causes that is the electorate is expectant to see glitz, to see you do your campaign with cars and pickups and giving out money and giving out TVs and refrigerators, and this is where the problem comes in. And they are willing to give you the money to win the election so that when the election is won, they could come in and say, okay, they make the decisions as to who you put at your finance ministry, your education ministry, your agriculture ministry, and so forth. I am not willing to do that. So nobody's going to come and control me and tell me, do this, do this, do that. And that is why I'm saying that this election should be won by the people, for the people. If the youth who are 12.5 million stand up to say, we are bringing Kofi Koranteng to lead this country, and he's going to do what we say, then I am going to be loyal to you and not them. And they will know that I am loyal to you, and my loyalty to you will be justified.
You will be sanctioned, and the
All
people will complain because they lose what they've been used to in 40 years. How will you balance that situation?
Why I am saying that for the first time in the world, I don't know how much of the world events you're following and the changing order of the world. This is why I am saying that the people to align with would be Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, we're going through a de-dollarizing.
Now, I believe you. You don't need
It's
to go
all right.
further. Thank you very much. You answered
All
my
right.
question. I believe
All right.
you.
All
Presidency
right.
for you in Africa.
This
in
is it.
Ghana.
We have
Good luck.
exhausted at least 3 hours. All right. So, Mr. Kofi Koranteng, I think it's a long night. So I want you to give us, to tell all of us one last thing that you want all of us to take home and sleep with, so that everybody can make decision. The people who have listened to you, I believe everybody, most of question, most of the question are answered properly, and people can attest to that fact. So, please, what do you have for the youth, Ghanaians out there, since we are running towards, election time, so that we can put the program to rest?
Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me. I'm not a politician. I'm a concerned citizen, very, very concerned about my country and this continent, Africa. And I think for the first time, we have the opportunity to change things dramatically. Please put your phones on mute for me. Please put your phones on mute. Everybody put your phone on mute for me. Now, when you take a look at the world, this is the first time Ghana is going to have the opportunity to emerge from the shadows. Nobody could kill any president in Africa. They will make attempts, but they will not be able to, because of what the last person who asked the question said. You see, there is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. We have Egypt, and we have Ethiopia joining. We have UAE, Saudi Arabia, Iran joining. And it's a powerful force and it's getting bigger. We have the opportunity, if we do the right things, to be called to the table of the BRICS because of our gold reserves, if we know what we're doing. Not to have a clown who is going to push our gold for oil, which we already have. And out of common sense, we can get our own crude. You see? Now listen to this. We are dead in the middle of the biggest Francophone economy, which is Ivory Coast, and the biggest Anglophone economy with about 213-15 million people, which is Nigeria. In a 1,000-mile radius from Ghana, there are going to be about 500 million people living in this region in the next 15 to 20 years. They don't have water, they don't have onions, they don't have food, they don't have medical supplies, they don't have recreational places to go, places to put their money. They have all these resources that, if it's harnessed properly, this could be the richest region in the whole of the world. But to do that, we need the right leaders who knows how to think and put together clusters of specialists, assemble a mastermind of thinkers, and allow for the youth to blast into their aspirations of possibilities of excellence. Ghana has an opportunity to spark, ignite this explosion. Ivory Coast is not ready. Nigeria has lost it. Ghana is at the best place to pull the trigger. If you, who is looking at me today, uses your head. Use your head. First, I want you to come and support us because we're going against an avalanche of serious money that's been stolen. The MPP is going to use about $1 billion into this campaign because they're going to be writing checks for people, giving people 1,000, 2,000 just to go vote for them. We don't have that kind of money because, like I said, we are not going to pay anybody because the moment we pay them to vote for us, we have lost our ethical and moral authority to govern. It's up to you. Support us by sponsoring a billboard in your neighborhood. Pay for a billboard. Call our office and we will give you the prices. Pay for a sponsor billboard. Pay for it. Sponsor billboard. Call us on our number 059-999-5120. 059-999-5120. KofiKoranten.com/donate. Donate money. We need the resources. We need the logistics to fight against the power that's coming at us. We are fighting for your freedom. We are fighting for our freedom. It's ours, and our freedom is not free. You are not deserving of anything you are not willing to fight for. They will take it from you because they have more power and more resources. So come with us. The New Vision movement has made the sacrifices. We are ready. We're calling on you if you love Ghana, if you believe in yourself, if you believe that there is some sense left up here, and you're not just going to follow what's popular, but do what is right based on principle. See, once you decide what is right based on principle, the rest is very easy. Decide what is right based on principle. Like I told you, 2024 elections is going to be based on two things: character and the economy. We know the people who have destroyed the economy. Incidentally, the same people don't even have character. So why even consider them? They had the audacity to present themselves for president when they well knew they were not qualifying of and deserving of. Now it is our turn to use our thumb in this crack of opportunity that we have. The pilots in the cockpit are going to crash land this plane and we are all going to die. For once, we have the opportunity to break the doors of the cockpit, take these pilots out, and have Kofi Kranting take the cockpit, gain control over the plane, get the altitude required, and redirect the plane to a safe landing, or we will all die. At 840 billion cedis of debt, you tell me which way we are going. We came from 9 billion with Kufuor to 120 billion with Mr. Mahama to 640 billion, now 840 billion with the Bawumia Akufo-Addo government. You think we're going to come down? None of them have a plan on how to take care of the debt. They all have plans on how to add to the debt. At whose expense? Your expense. You are going to be bequeathed that money. Everything I talk to you about is fact. This is your moment. This is our moment of destiny. We need to come together as one family, concerned at the hip, to take our nation back. I believe you. I trust in you. Let's make it happen. Let's do this. Love you. We see you around town. As always, I'm your steadfast advocate for leadership. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kofi Kante. Thank you. It's a great thing to have you on board. Guys, we'll be happy. I hope everybody will be happy for us to be having Mr. Kofi Kante again. To come.
Not only Mr. Survivor, invite him on Timo's live as well.
All right, Mr. Kofi Kante, you heard it yourself. This one, the people need you everywhere. You understand? So we are going to work back doors to be able to get that done. All right. This movement, Kofi Kante is here today because of the Media Force Alliance. Media Force Alliance is an organization of youth activists who come together under the umbrella of unity to speak the voice of freedom of the nation, holding one microphone. And we are advocating for Kofi Kranting and other candidates to come together so that we can have the best. But even if they are not coming together, we want to amplify their voice out there so that the youth can make their decision based on their conviction. So that is how come Kofi Kranting is here today. So, all right, give big respect to Media Force Alliance. Mr. Kofi Kranting, respect. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you so much. Love you guys. Have a good night. Take care, everybody.
Okay, take care. Bye.
All right, beautiful people. Thank you so much. Dada Sloko, thank you so much. Mr. Osajefo, thank you so much. Captain, thank you so much. Those who supported us with gifts, supported and then motivated the live. Thank you so much. All right. I really appreciate all of you. And my big man in the house, that's Loco and Mr. Sajefo. You make things easy.
I'll try one big God for him in my area.
All right. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I trust you on that. So we'll talk back door.